couple there as well. He's still got the Remnant to reset and return back to the lane.
And immediately double checking runes. Fly checks top rune. They have crit double stacking Ancients to make sure that the Clink stays able to catch up after this little bit tough start in the laning phase. And they will be able to get that illusion rune top. Abed also steals the small camp stack that we were mentioning from before. Really looking to shut down Ori. They look like they're bringing both supports though now. Vici, this is a very common move we've talked about. I know at Animajor people were really harping on how much Vici did do their double support movements around that 6-minute mark to help out Ori. I think EG's kind of expecting that. They're starting to make their move away. They're leaving Arteezy up top and just making the moves around with crit and with fly toward bottom.
I mean, top Arteezy's got to be careful. PYW's coming over again. 6 is about to be there on old 11. If they any sort of setup onto Arteezy here at the zone, he's not going to stand a chance. Bottom lane, trying to get in with the aggression, EG. Two supports backing up Ice, but Poyoyo
is under attack.
Keeps himself firing it back. We'll see the attempts up top, but not quite able to go there. Old 11 didn't quite have that level 6 here. Still waiting on it in a creep or two.
They've slowed down Arteezy so much. We've seen a lot of times with these Clinks, they just rush the Maelstrom without even boots. He has to go boots in this matchup just because he's getting run down. And yeah, old 11 is gonna be 6 now. Yeah. With treads, with Urn, very strong.
I mean, can Arteezy even stay up here on his own now? It seems it's so dangerous.
Perhaps waiting for them to maybe overcommit, checking if Abed has a TP, then they'll probably look for a counter gank play. Doesn't want to just straight up abandon the lane. They are seeing the rotation though. They have this ward that Fly did place before he left the lane. Yeah,
he's backing off.
Yeah.
Arteezy knows he can't stay up here any longer.
They already have a jungle ward though placed for him, so they're gonna be able to watch him if he ever does farm these camps inside their safe triangle. Abed though, since he sees the storm move top, immediately starts pressing onto mid, looking to go for some tower damage. And they will send Poyoyo to the mid lane. So again, both of these safe laners abandoning the lanes.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, and Poyoyo, as the Medusa, can sort of sit around and farm this mid area of the map without any threat from EG's heroes.
Yeah, they've got the counter gank, same thing, right? Like Ori, he walked top, he didn't make the teleport, so he didn't have to use his teleport. Same thing for old 11, they both have TPs available. If Poyoyo gets gone on, I mean, he's priority #1, they'll double TP to protect him. So laning phase, first 8 minutes, Vici, about 1k gold up because of that top lane being so successful, 900 ahead of the Clinks on that Blood Seeker.
The difference in the carry here for Cyril so far with the ease of lane they had to start things off with. Arteezy gonna have to do a little bit more of a recovery than Poyoyo.
First, and also Vici takes the first tower. Usually the team with Beastmaster is the ones who end up getting that first one, but EG will quickly catch back up as bottom will get sieged.
I see Vici as well. They're keeping the 3 heroes up around this tier 2. Again, just Arteezy having to play so cautiously. He's been completely left on his own on this half of the map by the rest of his team with, EG looking for these sort of objectives. So, yeah, just such a scary game for Arteezy in these early stages.
It's great prioritization coming out from Vici, just, keeping everything up there top, making sure that Poyoyo has all the space in the world. EG does have, of course, that recovery method being built up. We see the stacks, triple ancient, double hard camp. So he will be able to farm that. Once he gets his Maelstrom, of course, we've seen this time and time again, the burning barrage on it, so.
Stupendous.
I mean, what's the plan here for EG? How do they free this game up a bit more for Arteezy, getting this space secured?
Well, as long as he's not getting invaded into his triangle, I think it's now okay. Like, everything's starting to stabilize for them. They're going to start like looking to rotate and collapse on mid with Ice soon. And already they have pretty deep vision as well. Both teams actually with kind of similar style of vision this game. PYW looking for the smoke up. They're taking Ori bottom.
So what sort of setup they can get? DY scanning things out, but Abed knows he's watching.
They're watching Abed though. Look at this early ward they placed on the Tinker spot.
There from Abed as he avoids death absolutely. He gets caught by one of those stuns. He is gone.
He has a regen too, so he's back all the way up to full. And walking into their jungle is a little scary for the supports. Walking into a Beastmaster with all these creeps. Look at PYW getting slowed down.
EG, they're just charging straight for the line. Don't get him. Jump over with the Remnant. PYW's gone. They might want to try for more underneath the tier 2. DY and Ori are down here.
They're thinking about it.
They have Roar at the ready from Ice. He wants to lead in. Quick jump from Abed over to the side. It's going to be okay here. Ori not wanting to go for the grab. No, there's a lot of EG around.
Did you? He slided and quelling bladed the tree during the slide to cut
that?
kill him, but it was a little bit of fancy footwork.
I was going to say, just sort of saying, hey, I'm going to do this. Watch out, DY.
I know where you are.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We've got to look out for those plays coming out again from Abed.
Yeah, DY has to be very careful since he's playing versus the Beastmaster. That's another reason why EG did pick it, since that Monkey King was picked so early on. He's going to always be able to scout out inside the trees there for Abed to do that. Both teams just getting a lot of farm, though. Just chilling back. Poyoyo must be quite happy, just sitting inside the triangle. RTZ not doing nearly as well as the Medusa. Already level 9 on Poyoyo. RTZ's only level 7.
Yeah, nice. Poyoyo's having a great time. And the fact that old 11's getting so much as well. At this stage of the game, Vici Gaming very much having 2 carries almost with old 11 done from that off.
TZ's game might be pretty difficult. Like, old 11's just going to Atos him, just blood right full commit onto him inside most of the team fights, I feel. He really almost has Atos. It's about to be done. That's when we'll probably see the big action kicked off from Vici, but they might look to anyway fight around mid tower since CG is collapsing with that Beastmaster.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Let's see what they want to do about this Vici Gaming TP coming over from old 11. He's ready to join the crew here. That's Vici Gaming. Everybody apart from DY right now around this mid lane. The tier 1 falling slowly. Poyoyo's going to start to try and clear it out.
Haven't shown the blood right. That's their best way to wave clear besides the Medusa snake. We'll stop the push though with that snake, of course, and EG's gonna smoke. Look to catch around the ancient side. I think they're recognizing that, you know, it's like Arteezy's not able to farm the ancients because he doesn't have Maelstrom, and Poyoyo's just freely farming ancients at every single one of these camps, so they have to slow him down.
They've got to do something, and they have got good kill potential with the Mystic Flare. Ancient.
I'm over here.
Let's see here. What's next here? We're back. Don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you lost us, but we are back. Not quite sure what happened there. Maybe you can still hear us. And we couldn't hear one another. Hopefully it's all good. Anyway, bit of a brawl there between the two of them. Could have got, definitely got a bit messier that.
Yep, I think EG's probably pretty satisfied. They got Poyoyo. It allows Arteezy to sit back, catch back up. He's got Maelstrom. He's starting to work on those Ancients, as we were mentioning, which is a quad stack. So that should accelerate him almost all the way back up. He's still going to be slightly behind the Medusa, but catching up significantly in levels because of that pickoff. EG probably wanted to get a little more, like pushing forward for that tower, but the positioning there from DY's ult just kind of did dissuade them from pushing forward. And also, I believe it is the Bloodseeker that ends up surviving through all of it too, because he was dropped so low.
It was that last bit of damage for chasing him from crit. But able to actually get back and reset on 11. They're going to try and jump for him in the mid. They've got the chain set up. Mystic Flare comes crashing down this time. More than enough damage from EG. They get that set up into the ult from crit. And not many heroes are going to stand a chance at this stage of the game. So much damage at this point.
And immediately starting to siege the tower. Starting to crawl their way back into this game. Vici still looking to split up around the map, just looking to get this. I mean, they are playing much more of a greedy lineup with this Medusa, Storm, and Bloodseeker cores. Until they do have that, pretty much the Atos on the Bloodseeker, it's a lot harder for them to just force this action, unlike EG, where their action just needs to come from a slight chains, and then that's a setup for the Skywrath every single time. As we are seeing that 60% win probability from these last few moments. And EG, with that mid tower taken out, they can start accessing into the Ancients and denying this away from the Medusa as well.
And backing off from the mid here as well. 15 minutes in, 3-5.
PYW has been quietly farming the top lane for a very long time. He is 600 gold from Blink Dagger. Should have a pretty decent timing on that one.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty huge. It's all about the catch for both these squads. The amount of follow-up.
EG just has clear, like look at this ward, it just completely sees all of Vici walking through, even the ward up on the high ground right above there too. It's going to see them be walking even more so through, so clear information right now for EG of what they want to do with their next move. And Abed's invis, or sorry, smoked up.
And ready for that chain setup.
And they even had like a Hawk even as well on top of old 11.
So they want to go from that. They know that how much is standing around old 11 here.
They just need the Skywrath in range with the chains. To see Poyoyo picking up his Manta, so he's got much more survivability versus that chains combo. He's gonna always be able to disengage with it, so understood why he's gone for this item build this time around rather than we saw the S and Y earlier. Needs a way to be able to disengage from the Ancient Seal and those chains. And now up to 1k gold lead for EG. Arteezy's getting all the space in the world, just sit back while his team pressures the Ancient side. Vici might have to just smoke and potentially just try to clear their Ancients, because Poyoyo's getting a lot of farm denied away from him.
No, EG dealt perfectly with the way that Vici were able to gain that lead in the first sort of 12 minutes or so of this. Addressing the problems directly, and now Vici Gaming, they're the ones that have got to try and rectify the state of the map right now, of EG taking control.
Look to clean up the creeps. 2 boars down. Will they get the Centaur? They won't. Slow-paced game though, Owen. 3 to 5, 1640.
Dire are scanning.
Stupendous!
And who sort of benefits from it the most? Do you just sort of look at the Medusa and feel that Vici Gaming are going to be more comfortable with this sort of slow down in action, or VG always got the tools?
You know me. There's an ET on one side.
That's true, the ET. And I mean,
Natural order is a pretty good mechanic.
Yep.
And Arteezy, he's got total time to catch back up. He's still behind, as we say, versus that Medusa, but so many recovery points. And the game for Ori is difficult. He's gonna be going for the Orchid build, since you pretty much have to on these Storm Spirits, but a lot of different things that can just trip him up. The instant silence, the chains, these 2 things are just easy. It's either one of them just catching onto him, and he's just likely dead.
And, you know, no sort of ways to bail him out either. It's not like Vici Gaming have any sort of save. And we're just going to bail Ori out. He gets caught, he's dead, absolutely.
Exactly, yeah. Ice already has the Helm of the Overlord too, and looks like they're going to find another kill with that. Just amazing vision that they have, really. Like, EG's just constantly able to play around this, because they have all these deep wards down, they have the Hawk they can play around too, and Vici just doesn't seem like to be able to fight back.
No, not at all.
With the Beastmaster lineup, we're getting even 1 kill.
Yeah, straight to the Grow Shop. And yeah, with that continued vision around it, they're going to have any sort of information on Vici Gaming approaching immediately.
It's just dead too fast. Their actual best teamfight hero is the Monkey King in this game, until Zeus starts to feel like she can get involved. So a free one for EG. Very crisp macro movements.
That's just solid stuff. They're just controlling this triangle completely.
Yep.
They're going to try and find Vici. They're going to go with the zip and straight over there. Counterplay, Ori is just gone. Oh, but they'll lose the Aegis, but they don't care about the CG. They're more than happy with this sort of a trade, as old 11 also taken down on the front of it all. Now the chase comes out from Ahmed. Straight over towards the Deuce, and Poyoyo will be able to remove the chains with the Manta, but they're still trying to dive in onto him, over to the side. The tree is cut, DY hits the ground. You've got Ahmed just diving into the base, past the tier 3, chains him back up. He's going to be able to kill the Medusa. Poyoyo's dead. Get back out, and then DY cut down as well by Crit. As EG, I mean, it's
perfect, really.
I mean, what did EG Gaming do? It was sort of a slow start, and then as soon as they lost that triangle to EG, they lose the Roche, they lose the team fights, and now this sort of a hit where pretty much the entire team goes down. I mean, EG's just hitting their timings, and Vici Gaming, they're getting shaken up real bad.
I mean, Chris already has an Atos. So that off-lane Bloodseeker, who ideally wanted to get some type of pickoffs off, hasn't even gotten an opportunity, it feels like, to use Rupture, to even use his Atos. And as we mentioned, Ori, that was a big risk. Dead. He's just dead every time if he commits like that. He needs to have somebody else start the fights.
I mean, he needs to have his next item, really.
He just got the Orchid.
But I mean, as you said, though, it's just such a hard game to play with the Orchid alone. You've got nothing to protect yourself. Yeah. EG is absolutely going to catch you. You can only go in and silence one hero.
He has to have the bodies going for him first. Like DY he has to throw his life away, or Bloodseeker has to just throw his life away so that the Storm, so Ori can actually get to play his hero in these lanes, or in these team fights, because he's get chains, get silence every single time he's dead.
Yeah, I know. And look at this as well. EG no stopping straight around the bottom lane.
And look at Abed too. He's had the Javelin locked the whole time for that Maelstrom, and he's just going straight for BKB. They might just end this game really early on.
Absolutely. I mean, with the push potential that the Beastmaster can help them with, they have every means to take a sort of early high ground. They take one more fight against Vici like that one just now outside of the base and are able to wipe them. You know, these tier 3s of Vici game are going to get focused very early on in this game.
And they're even just pushing bottom. Like they have to address this on the side of Vici because of how big the Beastmaster is. They're always going to have to send a hero to react. And because of this, now look at EG. They're
look at this wraparound. I don't know if Vici game is going to be ready for EG coming from this angle.
They're trying to bail out. They know.
11. He will manage to TP out. P1W I'm going to find back. Zippo, but he's just gone. He just disappears.
Did he even get it disabled? I think he just died to the sheer damage.
It was just the raw damage. He goes and he's just gone.
That's not even with everybody, too. Ice was still just lingering around the mid lane. They kill the Skywrath, but they lose 3 big ones.
I mean, everything continuing to plan here for EG.
It really has just been picture-perfect planning for them. Yep. After those lanes didn't go perfect for them, they, like you said, invading the triangle, denying that away from the Medusa seems like a recipe for success, as they have just so much dominance now. 2 tier 2s taken out so early on, now just going for top as well, and the control continues.
Actually, it's going to be another tier 2 soon. Yeah, I mean, if they keep this pushing and turn just the tier 1 into a tier 2 as well, I feel like this has got to be one of the games where all tier 2s have gone down the fastest if EG keep this up.
I agree.
Just some insane push in early game here from Evil Geniuses. Vici Gaming, they've got to regroup, gather themselves, and think about how they're going to hold in any sort of team fight. They're going to try another move here. Ori is going to go straight over towards Fly, but Fly's pretty tanky here. The Blood Bright won't come out, but Fly's still alive. They've silenced Ori. Ori's gone. DY as well. The damage comes through from Artesia's on 11, hits the deck. Fly will fall, but now Poyo surrounded by EG. P1W will attempt to help out, but he can't keep his Medusa alive. Poyo falls, and they're going to call it 22 minutes in. Evil Geniuses just destroyed Vici game and they just slammed them out the way. This was a complete beatdown, and EG, I mean, this is the cleanest Dota they've brought out so far. It was picture perfect. They
10 minutes of
all the
perfection.
boxes.
Wow. Like actual 10 minutes of perfection, right? One of the best vision games, I think, if anybody does want to look at for those like 10 minutes, because they had absolute vision control. They saw all the moves Vici was trying to make. The move mid, you know, that's where Vici thinks that they're going to be able to get something for Ori, and they saw it coming immediately, and boom, they just get like a full cleanup kill. Arteezy was able to sit back farm. Yeah.
That's it. Perfection there from EG in this game. We'll see if they can do it again in the second one, but what a start for EG in this series.
Thank you so much, Odie Pixel Fog. My goodness gracious, that was a game. A blink if you miss it. EG coming out in full force. Tsunami, my man. I haven't seen anything like that on the stage so far.
Odie Pixel said it. It was near perfection. I don't really think that you could have optimized any more than that entire game, which is funny, Jenkins, because you and I were speaking before this entire day started about how Vici Gaming prides itself on optimizations and how EG may be not taking the same early game approach, but here just seemed all flipped on its head.
Yeah, I think the question we had was, so the way Vici likes to play is they're one of these teams that they will rotate heroes around in the laning stage just for efficiency. They don't do it for kills. They're not going for these like smoke plays or anything, but they just put this wall in front of you in the laning stage where, like, you know, there's a Grimstroke in the safe lane pushing the wave out safely from trees with the Quelling Blade. Somebody's jungling. They just do this like efficiency in the 10 to, you know, until like 10 to 15 minutes. But EG just broke it. And I think that was the question we had, was like, Crit is the type of player that runs around and makes opportunities happen. And I mean, I didn't think it was going to go like that. I mean, I figured that there was going to be, okay, one of these playstyles was going to win out. Either it was going to look like Vici was a wall and EG couldn't break it, or Crit was going to break it wide open, and then Vici was going to look maybe not exactly like that, but close to it.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like what's interesting in that game is how long it's kind of a lull for, right? Like, there's not much happening for, let's say, 15 minutes, kind of slow. And then EG are like, okay, we flick a switch now. This is what we wanted. We have our vision heroes. They have their key items. We're strong at fighting. We're going to run at you until it ends. And that's basically it. And honestly, I can understand this GG out from Vici. It might look like tilt or whatever you want to call it, right? Because like it's such an early GG in the game, but everything their lineup wants to do and everything EG's lineup wants to do, it's just been like EG have just accomplished everything. They have full map control. They have a grip of everything, and they're winning the fights. So coming back from that is almost impossible. And sometimes it can be better to just be like, okay, call a spade a spade. We lost. Don't break yourself down mentally. Go next game.
And I think EG is the type of team too that they probably weren't considering this, but just as like a fact, like EG is the type of team that during the whole NADPC, we saw that they would often take these really long games, but the moment that you give them an opening, they go straight for the jugular and they just destroy you. So EG was this weird team where they would be very patient. They would play for only like perfect plays, the best opportunities. But then the moment that they could get that, it was like just all gas, no brakes. And in this game, it just happened so early that it was arguably, this was like the biggest stomp of the playoffs, I would say, so far.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel, Tsunami?
Secret OG, maybe? Game 2?
Yeah, but at least they fought until
that
like...
was an EU stomp.
They fought it out.
Yeah. And at least like tier 3 towers are falling at some point, tier 4 towers, so you call GG after that. Whereas this one, and it's what I have been critical of for Vici for a long time. I don't think that they have the same killer instinct that Evil Geniuses does. Even though both these teams have been proven to be very consistent, Vici Gaming is just consistent to a slightly less flamboyant degree, and they will be top 6 finishers consistently, but rarely ever grand finalists.
Well, this is the chance to prove it, right? I mean, they've got to win this one out and move on forward. This is TI, man. This is like the make or break moment. Do we continue to follow in kind of the calm that we were talking about, the same kind of drafts that are a little predictable, or do we pull out something crazy? Now, speaking of crazy, by the way, we had some nuts moments on our first draft, and I want to make sure that for Game 2, this is a very serious series where someone will be going home from the International, that we keep things professional and on track. So I would like to welcome a friend to the panel here. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may please introduce my little friend Peepo. Peepo the tiny meepo. Now Peepo is here because, don't touch Peepo. Peepo is here, and he does not like it when people say cringy or weird things. So Jenkins, if you ever say anything, you're going to make little Peepo cry. Don't touch little Peepo.
Three bees can replace every bird. Birds are not held accountable. They should be held accountable. Oh, he's blurring out.
He doesn't like that. You're
doesn't like
fading him from existence.
I blurred him out.
Don't walk in front of little Peepo.
Hey, what the?
Little Peepo cries. Do not do this. Anyway.
Who's been a good boy?
Don't touch little Peepo.
I'm sorry.
Focus on the panel. Thank you very much. Very important match here. And little Peepo, he will cry tears of shameness for what you've done here today. Anyway, we got a little piece here to give you guys some more insight into Vici Gaming. Do not touch little Peepo, please, as we take you over to there. Let's take a look. Little Peepo.
就是整个 TI 生涯里面最伤心，或者说最惋惜的一个场景，应该是在，
那可能是 TI6 那年，我好像在以后面打的 TI 吧。然后那年小组赛也比较顺利的。
然后我们赢了 A 队以后，我们已经锁定前6了。然后在下一场的胜者组决赛那个比赛中，我们就是那一场比赛对我们来说很关键。我们在那一轮遇到了一级战队。
当时其实我们觉得一级并不是很强，我们挺有信心拿下那场比赛的。
this racetrack. That's going to be Mega. EG going to need a miracle, not a position you want to be in if you're an EG fan right now.
纣王，然后当时场面我记得我们还是挺优的，甚至一度破了别人的3路，已经出了超级兵。
EG might just not have the bodies to do this. Can they get PPD out? He gets the first step away, but no! The extra damage comes out from the Warlock as a fatal bond eliminates him, but nice! He almost dies. They're Side gets him. They hold. EG, can they do it? Any pickoff on a core might enable them to still win this game. EG might be able to do this. They're holding an event here again. If they kill him, take him out. They revive back in the tier. Oh, the throne's going down. The throne down to half HP. Game
然后就被超级兵翻盘了嘛，然后就作为史诗一直被大家吐槽嘛，就领先特别多，然后被超级兵翻盘了。
TI 上的超级兵翻盘，
因为我跟艾斯艾斯的关系也好嘛，然后我就打完特别生气，然后就非常生气的指着他说：“哎，你小狗实在让我太失望了。”
然后直接影响了我们那一把输了以后，直接影响了我们第2把的心态和操作，直接导致我们第2把输的很利落。
All right, fantastic there. As we enter, little Peepo, he's still here.
Get him out of
No,
here.
No, keep him.
He does not like cringe. Look, he danced as soon as you
he
start
doesn't
talking.
like
Anyway,
cringe.
back to this. We have one game away
He's come
from
to the wrong panel.
potentially Vici Gaming exiting TI. Please stop dancing as we continue now.
Idle animating.
That is an idle animation. He seems to like it. He is not dancing. So, oh, okay, that
There
was
he
cringe.
goes.
Let's
Yeah.
move on. Cinderin, back to getting serious here. Little Peepo, get out of here. Don't make Daddy smush you, little Peepo. It's time to go. Time to get serious again. Bye-bye. Perfect timing.
Great.
We practiced that for 6 hours this morning, so I'm glad that it went through. All right, so Cinderin, you're in Vici's shoes. Is that a game that you would have GG'd out quickly to get your head back into the game? And I would like to say to the new viewers here at Dota 2 that doing such an action, not a bad thing. You got to get your head in the game. You got to move quickly. Cinderin, I rescind my question to you because our teams are simply entering the arena. I don't care what you have to say, Cinderin, because I would rather see the teams enter. It is almost time for Game 2 as EG face off once more. All right, now you can
Let me know what you
answer the
care what I
question.
think.
Go ahead.
I'm ready.
Cinderin,
You care now?
I do care.
Unrescinded.
Where's Peepo?
Where is Peepo?
Please focus on the match
Okay,
here, Cinderin.
so I think it depends a bit on your team dynamics. There are some teams that the most important thing, honestly, is that the team is on the same page about what your your approach is to GG calls. Some teams have the mentality we play until the throne falls, no matter what. Others have the mentality that if it's over, it's over, and those two things don't necessarily always align. And for Vici Gaming, I honestly don't mind the GG. Like I said, I feel like the game's just lost, and it's something we've seen championship teams also GG out in similar situations, especially player that comes to mind. A lot of PPD-led teams will GG out in positions like that because, like, I had a strategy, I had a game plan. It either we mis-executed or it was a bad plan, but either way, it's over, and you don't want to waste all that energy just grinding through a loss if you feel like it's hopeless, right? It can look like tilt. Like I said, I think Vici Gaming are going to look better in this game, and they're going to change some things up, and they just identified that game was just not going their way.
I think so too, and I think Vici is the type of team that they usually have a pretty stable early game. Their laning is strong. Like I said, they don't go for kills, but they're really good at playing the laning stage efficiently. So coming out of it and getting snowballed on like that, I don't think that's necessarily something that they're used to. Their warding in the early game too is like, I think they have top 3 efficiency in terms of
top 2
efficiency in terms of warding.
I alluded to it previously, but yeah, there's this interesting metric on how efficient you are with your sentry wards, how many sentry wards you place to find an observer ward. LGD obviously the best because they are seemingly the best at everything, but Vici Gaming is a close second.
Are you telling me that people actually keep track of the efficiency of
They do.
sentry wards?
Very
My
much so.
goodness gracious. I don't even buy them.
Yeah, while you were doing a little peepo,
100%
he was
efficiency.
researching that.
That's right. You know, if you don't buy sentry wards to deward, that's 100% efficiency,
Divide
guys.
by 0.
That's right. So anyway, though, interesting to talk about these drafts again. Tsunami, you've been a little critical of Vici for
have.
kind of playing by the playbook, always doing it the same thing. Do you expect us to go to potentially crazy places here in this draft? Are we
No,
gonna see something new?
I think they should go back to more what they were familiar with. You mentioned that they had picked Snapfire every single time
That's true.
previously in their upper bracket series, and so I think that that's something that they can rely on. It's even tough for me to diagnose something that was wrong with them. I think it was just EG getting everything that they wanted. I think maybe ban out Ice Beastmaster. I think the vision thing was, to me, the downfall, especially in such a quick game. I think with Ice could have been on a variety of different heroes, but it wouldn't have ended that quickly. So giving Ice such a powerful vision hero, like maybe even ban out Night Stalker, stuff like that, I want Vici to focus more on not letting Bulba get what he wants, not letting him have his Kyle Egg strategy come to fruition.
Yeah,
what in the name?
Oh,
What
did
is
you-
the Kyle
Kyle
egg?
Egg?
I
You
believe
didn't-
I missed that.
You didn't hear the interview?
Does Kyle lay eggs?
Yes.
He did not specify where the eggs came from, so it's a very real possibility.
I
yes.
wouldn't put it past him.
Kyle is known to drop things on the TI main stage,
It's
so
true.
definitely could drop an egg and I would not put it past him. So
He's not here to defend
Anyway.
himself, please.
what was I going to say? So I think, I'm assuming in this game the pick order is going to be mirrored. I think Vici Gaming will try to get their hands on the last pick of the first phase this time around, and that changes the dynamic a lot. Because if you have that spot, you don't necessarily, like you pointed out, Beastmaster could be a target ban against EG, but you don't.
He does this all the time.
He
I
does.
love that he does this.
He's so zen.
I don't know
out
if
there.
he's memeing or if he's actually
All right, guys.
meditating.
It looks like it's time to wrap it up. We have the hell of the best draft you have ever seen coming up, and we're going to do it with Avo and the panel.
Evil Geniuses versus Vici Gaming. Game 2.
I don't know what I have to do, Slacks, so you will pronounce my name correctly. But my name is Ava Plus. I'm here with Effie and Lacoste. We're here to analyze Game 2, well, the draft specifically, between Vici and EG. That Game 1 was a bit rough. Was it what we would expect, though, from Vici, who
No, definitely. I mean, looking how Vici Gaming played, they usually don't GG out. They did not lose. They even had a tier 2 tower. They had Medusa. They could have potentially tried to play. But sometimes you have to call it. Maybe that was the right call in this situation where they don't want to play this game for another 15 minutes. Even though it's an elimination game, I would still prefer if they play until the end, which some teams love to do. What I want to see from this one, from Vici Gaming, is pick up the offlaner. Pick it up in the first phase because it got banned out in the second. Bloodseeker didn't really strike me as 11 hero. Yeah, it was a decent pick in terms of the laning because he has a high base armor against the Clinks. He was on top of the net worth, but I want to see him on something that can initiate, anything with a strength. Give him that Legion Commander, Night Stalker, Tidehunter. Tide's available actually, and Doom is banned out, so I want to see them get Tidehunter here.
Nope. Same start.
Same start. Okay, so 11 throughout the group stage has gotten most of his heroes picked in the first phase, and they've relied on the Tidehunter, they've relied on Doom, they've relied on similar type teamfighty heroes, and just the fact that they've chosen to not go for that is really confusing to me because they just seem to be target banning his hero pool.
I think this is a replay. Maybe we might have loaded into a
This is
replay.
So
very bizarre to me, but the Bloodseeker was very out of place in my opinion. Even if it had a good laning stage, there was really no rupture target. What do you gain from this Bloodseeker pick?
It's not your Phantom Assassin that likes to move around in the team fights. Clinks can just stand his ground and deal damage while being static. And we see Tidehunter banned out, Timbersaw once again, EG understanding where the threat can possibly come from. Another Invoker ban. We already seen this.
I want to ask you, what does that mean for team mentality when we see
I think that means, I think Syndrome had a really good point how when he talked about PPD, where if certain strategy didn't work, they called it, they missed their timings and they GG'd out. So they're one more I feel like they
feel for themselves like this is it. This is something that we have prepared. This is strong, and we're going to do it one more time because we probably made it work in our scrims. So.
Yeah, they are confident in this opener, and these are heroes that they do want to play regardless of whether or not it's going to look like the last game in terms of the first two for EG. I think they have to adjust the offlane and mid picks here.
Okay.
That's probably what we're going to see. If we see another repeat of it, it's...
Because they're banning the same exact offlaners as well. We're getting rid of the old 11 heroes, and he is usually the pillar of this team. He is. Whenever 11 is popping off for Vici Gaming, you know that the rest of the team is also going to have a good time. I might be a bit biased here because he's one of my favorite. He's my definitely the favorite offlaner, and because he can overextend, you know. And then with 11, they're always going to have fun watching him play Dota because he will overextend. There's going to be a couple of mistakes being made, or like he can go either 11-0 or 0-11 sometimes, and. But he's been pretty stable lately. Throughout the Season 1 and Season 2, that has been a meme for a long time, you know, about 11, but he's been stable in terms of laning stage, itemization. His positioning has always been good. One more time, Shaker getting banned out, but this time around, Vici Gaming making a bit of an adjustment, going for Storm Spirit ban.
That's because they don't want to give it away, right?
Yeah.
It just looks exactly the same. We can talk about these heroes again if you'd like to, Ava.
I mean, sure. You know, tell me what why they might try the Lion Monkey King again.
Yeah, for anyone who might have tuned in, the reason why this line is valuable for Vici is because it directly counters a lot of Avid's hero pools, so it makes it so that they have more leeway in their draft and what they want to ban and what they want to pick. And the reason why I say he directly counters is just the instant disable and hex is very good against Puck, very good against Storm, very good against
they're
Ember.
focusing a bit more on the laning stage, being able to take off the boar, dispel the Elder Titan Spirit. Let's see if they decide to go for even Ember Spirit, whose shield can be dispelled by Enchantress. That also means that this is a core Monkey King. Yep.
This makes me curious because now that they see the core Monkey King, I mean, it could even be a core Enchantress potentially, but we haven't seen teams play it, and
Only Tundra has been doing at 9 recently,
Yeah.
I've heard. But yeah, they even got rid of the Ursa you were talking about last game, Lacoste. So a pretty solid hero against Monkey King as well. Yeah. Because he's one of the heroes that can just sit in a Wukong's command, trade well against Monkey. You don't care too much about Jingu. Once you get like 4 or 5 stacks, you feel too powerful for Monkey. Let's see if they decide to go for any kind of repositioning tools against Monkey. Okay, so you take the big creep. It's going to get arrowed by Morana, the old school counter, just focusing on the laning stage.
I suppose it's interesting to look at their bans and then this flex to a core Monkey King. They actually eliminated a lot of heroes that might be annoying for Monkey King later in the game, actually, by baiting out these bans. So that's an interesting take that Vici just did that we didn't consider initially. Morana, I think, has been an underutilized hero. She has really good chain stun potential, damage, and the AoE invisibility, which can set up for a lot of kills, but the reason why teams haven't been playing her so much is it just feels like you want more team fight, and she doesn't provide that. But in terms of how EG played last game, if they just play for pickoffs, and she functions similarly to Skye, right? In that she follows up and does a lot of damage. So I see what they're going for here. I don't like it as much as last draft, but
I would prefer if Vici Gaming just picked their offlaner, because by picking Enchantress, they showed this Monkey King is a position 1, maybe a mid, but it's a core, which allowed EG to counterpick it, and they got the Razor. Something that both of these teams are really good at is utilizing the Razor when it's a really good Razor game, and this is a really good Razor game. So they pick up the Queen of Pain, traditional Razor counter, but it could always be flexed as a carry. In fact, NA loves Razor carry.
That could be something that could happen, but we'll see, right? It's still open. And for those of you at home, the reason why Queen of Pain is a traditional counter to Razor is just because she blinks out of the static link.
And Shadow Strike also annoys him a lot in the lane. Can't heal too much, can't chase after you with a Shadow Strike on you. Right now, what drafts do you think have more weaknesses to cover with this last pick, Lacoste?
It's going to be a very hard last pick for Vici Gaming because you're playing, most likely this is going to be Razor on the safe lane and they're still waiting for Abed's hero. It's very hard to pick anything ranged. Your position 4 is going to be Lion. He's good at protecting your offlaner because you can throw a stun, you can throw a hex, possibly break the link, but I don't think you're ever going to feel comfortable playing into Razor on the safe lane.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be very dependent on lanes. It's obvious that Vici placed priority on it this time around, but I don't even think the lanes are that countered, to be honest. Like, if they do put Razor on the safe lane, which they probably should do, Beastmaster Mirana is going to be a strong lane, and so is ET Razor. Mirana just counters Enchantress, right? They're going to make her chase the Beastmaster around, but they could also do the same thing with Mirana for the Enchantress. And Monkey King, while he is good versus Beastmaster, he does get kited out by the boars, right? Also, Vici have put themselves in a position where they have no team fight at all. So it's a bit concerning.
They need something from the off lane. So you need to think about what you get from the off lane at this point, because your matchup is tough. If you get something like a Legion Commander, which is a great dispel, against the Mirana Arrow, against the Beastmaster Roar, you're still going to have a really hard time. And once again, EG with the Spirit, okay, Magnus makes sense. He has a skewer to break the link and also empowered Monkey. We saw yesterday how strong it is with Quincy Crew when they played it. The first game, even though they lost it, you come online so quickly with the Echo Saber into BKB timing. What I like about Razor on the other side is he's also one of the few safe laners that just builds into BKB early on, and then you steamroll from there, because you're going to hit the big timings with the Helm on the Beastmaster, one item on the Void Spirit, one item on the Razor, and you're going to be good to go.
And now all of a sudden they have Vici. On the side of Vici, they have this RP into Wukong's command into Sonic Wave. So they do have team fight. This Magnus looks like a really nice pick. Monkey King Magnus has really nice synergy because Monkey King's farming as a core can be very affected by how his laning goes. And if it goes badly, he doesn't really have an inherent farming tool built into him, right? There is Primal Spring, but it's not good enough. It's too much of a mana cost really to just spam it wave after wave, and it all can also bait you into getting killed. But having a power on the Monkey King makes this game a lot easier.
Okay, so what draft are you favoring than Effie?
I still like EG's draft more, I would say.
I definitely like Vici's gaming more than in game number 1. Looking at this Enchantress, it's a really good lane counter for both of the heroes, so they might swap things around. You know, they could potentially put this Elder Titan on the safe lane, and so that you don't have two heroes countered by Enchantress. I think that's the play here.
Well, we are going to have to hear from Vici themselves what they think about their draft, as Frankie is waiting for us on the sidelines with Vici Gaming's coach.
In that opening game, we did see the pace entirely controlled by EG. So, Coach Fenrir, how are you going to take charge of the tempo in game number 2?
刚刚第一把 EG 把节奏控得很好，你们在第二盘当中有什么打算把节奏抢回来？
就如第一盘而言，其实我们对线来说压力不是特别大吧，但是兽王还是给我们制造了点麻烦吧，而且我们前中期的处理也不是很好，所以这盘3手也做了应变吧，出了小鹿这个英雄。
So in the first game, we didn't feel like we lost control because we did feel like our lanes went well. However, the Beastmaster did cause us some troubles. So in this game, we did make a change and we got Enchantress third pick.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the impact of that Enchantress with our casters. They are OD. Oh, and we've gone over to Fogged.
Thank you very much, Frankie. Yes, game 2 ready here. EG versus Vici Gaming. We just heard there from the man himself, Fenrir. Would you agree that they've obviously addressed the fact that the Beastmaster did a lot for EG last game? They let it through here, but picking some stuff up in response. Do you think they've sort of tackled it well?
Definitely better responses than the last game, it feels like, but definitely concerned still because Enchantress, that's the laning fix, which last game the lane, like they said, was pretty okay. So let's see what else DY is able to do inside the mid game if he's able to actually help out, because I think also just vision was a huge component of the game. EG just had like perfect vision after that laning phase and just completely dominated on it. Also, we'll see how Ori's going to do, because he was just completely countered in the last game. He was playing versus the Ancient Seal. This time he has a little bit more liberty until we do see that Yules that's going to be coming out for Void Spirit. The only real natural stun that he has to worry about is the Primal Roar until they do actually have a setup for him. So looking at Ori to have a better time and for him to actually be able to have an impact this time around.
And do you think Vici Gaming this game, Old 11, back on the Magnus, pretty happy with the way they closed their draft up this time?
For the game, yes. For the lane, no. For the lane, now it's going to be much more difficult. Last time he had this advantageous matchup because of that Bloodseeker, high base damage, high armor. You could trade really nice with the Clinks with PYW behind. Now it's Razor versus Magnus with an ET behind. So this one should be much harder for Old 11 to secure himself last hits.
Obviously Fly again, doing his best to bully back the two of them. Get that space for Artesian. So this time potentially set up some early action for Artesian. He'll be ready to rock and roll here in the lane as a Razor.
Yeah, he kind of got, I hate to say it, but like he kind of got like carried by his team in the last game. He just had to sit back and farm. So I think this time he's going to be a lot more like impactful, a lot more moving around with his team and just more involved. Just feels like it's going to be more necessary, because also I do think like the mid matchup, it's going to be a lot harder for Abed versus that Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and when you see EG's lineup, do you expect them, is the aim to play as fast as they did in game 1?
Yeah, they've got the Beastmaster. Yeah. If they can just start getting the ball rolling, absolutely. We look at the wave clear on the side of Vici, they've got Shockwave, which is probably one of the better ones. The rest that we always talk about is just difficult. Like, of course, you can't really walk up and get like a Scream of Pain to just clear out these pushes that are going to start coming up around, because you're just going to get set up on. So that one they do have a little bit of a worse time, but it all depends too is how they play with it too, because the Bloodseeker the last game, they didn't really have him in a position to spam out the blood rights. It felt like they wanted it to, as DY with the heal, and as well as having his own boar, of course, from that enchant.
Now we'll see how much it sort of affects Ice in the laning stage.
Arrow will connect on Poyoyo. He could be in trouble.
I was going to say, he's going to get brought down pretty low here. It's fine, they've still got a south between the two of them.
And nice little high fives in the mid lane. We're seeing a lot more denies. Ori 10-7, 8-6 on Abed. Abed actually getting a lot more denies than I thought he would. The animation of that melee, of course, Void Spirit having one of the best animations in the game too, is helping him. Not even getting Dissimulate, which is cool. I thought maybe he was going to try to play around the Shadow Strike, but he's just absorbing them with the Resonant Pulse.
Yeah, I feel like that's something oh, there we have. This time around, they will get the kill. Bottom lane, Ice. Taken out of this. Already a good start here for Vici in the way that they've changed up the way they want to lane against Ice.
It is owning him. He's only got 6 last hits. DY is doing an excellent job down here with Poyoyo. Both heroes are kind of just way stronger than the setup that they did have before versus the Beastmaster. So that is going to be impactful to slow down the timing of that Dominator that we saw picked up so early on last game.
Now we'll have to see how well Ice is able to recover from a bit of a rough lane.
He's level 2. Poyoyo is level 3.5, so is DY. This lane doesn't get much easier either for the Beastmaster, because his board is just going to start being susceptible of just getting burst down by the Monkey King a lot of the times, as well as just being taken over from DY.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, right, we saw Beastmasters against the Enchantress just not level the board. That's just something you can't do in this meta with the way the hero is.
Really. Especially, like, you just have to go the Dominator build now completely, so.
You can't change it up.
Crit, he's going to start moving around. Since that bottom lane, he can't actually apply pressure to Poyoyo. He's just going to start checking runes, helping out Abed so that he gets that advantage over Ori. Again, though, Ice, they kill his boar and immediately start committing on him.
He's on his own. It's going to be all right this time round. Boundless had already been used.
Yeah, he's been using it to kill boars. That's why you see Poyoyo being so farmed. 27-9. And his net worth is that much higher. It's only 5 last hits plus a kill, but he's an extra like 600 gold over the Razor because it's been like, I think 3 or 4 boars that he's actually been able to secure with the Boundless.
I mean,
very important.
This is a game as well where he's got a Magnus on his side. So with this start already, the potential is there for Poyoyo to become massive this game.
Crit, just looking to be a nuisance since he knows he can't, as we said, pressure bottom. He looked to snipe mid Courier. Courier actually lived 2 hits, so Ori's will survive.
It's trying to push back old 11, but always hard to go when they know he's got the skewer. We'll actually get the skewer back onto Fly. Trap back with the shockwave, not enough damaging. As soon as they have used that, old 11 has to be cautious of Arteezy being able to punish the fact skewers on cooldown. This top lane, I mean, 23 for 4 against the 25 for 5. This sort of matchup going much better than you expected for the Magnus.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to have that many last hits, but just great positioning of the lane. We've seen PYW getting it to be pulled back for a good spot for him as Ice. Boundless is down. He can always go for the TP out, but look at 8 last hits on Beastmaster.
I mean, he's getting completely pushed out of lane here. I mean, we sort of see it as well with the movements from Crit, maybe sort of just bailing out in that bottom lane. I mean, is there any sort of recovery to be had down here now in this matchup? It seems like it's so far behind. What do you even do down on this half of the map right now in this laning stage?
You wait for a rotation, really. It's like when Abed has level 6 and he can make a move, or Arteezy makes the move down bottom.
Jump forward, Abed. Get the quick grab onto Ori, but Ori's going to be fine. Has got the 6, of course. Sonic Wave with the ready, but still at full HP here, Abed and Fly. DY will be able to top Ori back up, keep him in the lane.
That does mean they know that DY is in the mid lane, so they do know Poyoyo's bottom. They're going to start being able to play a little more confident. Ice now showing his face again. And they are rotating a 3rd hero around. So Fly is going to make that move around. They did the same thing around that 6:37 minutes last game too, just to try to fly pressure. But they're going to fight DY in the river.
I should have him in. Another step in. And they've got that burst. So DY gone.
Urn secured. Urn charged for Crit. And they still do have a catapult bottom too, so Ice is looking to get some type of advantages. Poyoyo, long range arrow.
That's going to be a good duration on the stun here. They're in under the tower. Poyoyo's hit the 6 though. Wukong's command is down and look to beat back into Ice. Stop from Fly, stops the chase from Poyoyo, but further TP's coming in. Ori with the jump forward. He has got that Sonic Wave, he'll drop it. Blows up Ice, but now he's blinked in and Arteezy turns up for the trees. They were not expecting the Razor to be down here this early. As now over towards DY they go. DY getting slammed down. Poyoyo back in action, jumps over the Fly. Now get the trade back here, VG Gaming, but yeah, EG really piling up the pressure, trying to force some action down in this bottom lane with an early move from Arteezy.
Sneaky move too, just hiding himself in the trees. They had an Obs Ward in the lane, but either way, they did not expect him to be there. Sonic Wave to secure kill, but Ori dies, and immediately EG responds, going right back bottom. They want to pressure this tower early on. Is giving a lot of space, as we see old 11 pretty much has the Dominator finished up in the top lane.
I'll see what the reaction from VG Gaming will be to this pressure that EG's applying. Poyoyo's keeping... Yeah, okay, now he's going to TP top. They're going to leave this lane.
They did a good job holding it. Lanes again, looking really good for them. Abed looks like he was playing more of the farm game. Even when that whole fight was kicking off bottom, he literally was just farming. I see him maxing Dissimilate too, which is like that big farm mechanic. Now that he's got a Haste Rune though, looking to get a bit more active. They know that Poyoyo TP top as well. If they can get that kill onto the Monkey King, it'll be huge for EG. But old 11 is in the area, and Ori is also already making the move up top, maybe predicting this.
Poyoyo's going to need help. Remnant is off the mark, so is the Stomp. Turns around with the Boundless. Need 4 for Crit, and they got the damage to take down Poyoyo. Needs 1 more hit upon him. Fly, he's in to secure the deal. Comes in, gets the kill, now turns over towards Ori. Ori taking some huge damage here for the Elder Titan. We'll let the blink back up into the trees they go. Old 11 skewers across. Fly tries to drop down the Stomp. Old 11 will be able to finish him off before he finishes the Stomp there. So 2 quick kills for VG Gaming. They do lose their carry though. Poyoyo going down.
Great read though. Just as soon as like the Monkey King shows in lane, they're like, uh oh, all right, we probably have to help him because all of EG just went missing. So do at least get that trade going for them, and probably can transition it into this tower push. Sonic Wave also back up in 2 seconds, so if a fight does kick off around top, might look to fight, but they're a bit unhealthy on the mana pool. 300 on Ori, old 11's down to 60. Unlikely that EG responds up there anyway. Ice, he's lost his board.
Has got Arteezy by his side here. The link's starting to go on to Poyoyo. So the battle is on to the two of them as a big link. Raw comes out to cancel the Wukong's command as Arteezy and Ice will be able to finish off Poyoyo.
Ooh.
He'll get the ult off,
He
but,
finished it.
I mean, milliseconds before he dies, so that's going to be 2 minutes on cooldown. No effect to be had from that Wukong's command.
Targeted hits by EG. Arteezy just, Ice is just baiting him. Arteezy just waiting for him to jump in and commit, and boom, instantly gets the connection onto a full static link. Poyoyo has to be more careful. That's 2 deaths back-to-back. It's going to slow him down completely. Sure, he's got the Magnus. He's going to have that empower to make sure that he can farm in the later stages, but he is into a Razor, so does have to be very careful about how far behind he does fall.
Good setup mid. Stop into the arrow. EG. Ooh, they've got the damage. He'll blink out. Well, that magical coming in from the Astral Step. Still finishing Ori off.
EG starting to really ramp up the pressure, and just like last game, they kill the mid twice, they kill the carry twice. Now they're starting to transition this into tower pushes. Vinci's going to have Old 11 bail them out of this, it feels like, because he's having that really good time, but now their 2 other cores are getting pressured quite heavily, and the supports can't really bail them out of it. Enchant's just more of that like super early laning phase hero. It's going to have to be PYW and Old 11, who now does have Arcane Boots. Was looking like he was going to rush the blink, but I think he just needs mana to show up. He needs to be in the fights to help out his team. As EG finds stacks, they're going to be happy. And this is the same exact move from EG as last game.
Same time.
Take bottom, take mid, take over to the triangle. This time it's not versus Adusa, but look at Poyoyo. Level 7, it looks like he's struggling to find a place to be.
Will show himself around the mid. EG. 4 of them having their eyes on the Monkey King.
Hey, I think if they connect with that stomp, they just go on him again. Has to be super careful.
Dire are scanning.
See what the next call from EG is going to be. Already getting themselves back into the jungle of Vici Gaming.
They have this vision up top still. The ward is about to expire.
Want to get Old 11.
They see 11. He sees the ward expire.
He's still farming though.
He's still chilling in the area. But look, EG's got a better hit. They're looking for Poyoyo again.
If Arbe can close the gap, they'll have a solid setup.
He's sure.
Oh, he's off the mark.
Both
Not able to hit
mark.
that Remnant, and Poyoyo will be able to walk away there. Bit of a miss from Arbed. Back in action in the mid lane. Ice getting jumped by Ori and PYW. As Vici Gaming get the kill, Old 11 was even looking to get a further catch. Well, managed to quite do so. And now, well, with Ice down, Vici Gaming feeling the strength to push back themselves in the mid lane.
Should be able to commit forward for this tower. There's going to be some stall, of course, from the stomps from Fly. Also pulls the aggro of the creep wave, but with these 4 heroes, with the illusions, with the Dominator, should go down. EG's not reacting. Continuing to farm bottom on Arteezy, continuing to farm top on Abed. And Poyoyo, with his Empower, is able to farm up that Ancient stack after he dodges the gank.
Yeah, some well-needed space for Vici Gaming, with VG having to back over away from the Vici Gaming triangle.
Eleven's just how he's just farming a storm. Just really wants his blink. He just feels like that he has to be that big initiator for the team, which he absolutely does. It's going to be an early timing, too. That could catch EG off guard if they look to make too many of these 5-man movements that they do tend to do with this Beastmaster. PYW does have the ward down. Did see Crit walk in and place this ward, so this one should get dewarded pretty early on. He still has the Sentry ward on him, so maybe it did actually sneak in and he didn't notice it. They're going to Moonlight, but it is covered. Obs and Sentry's already down. PYW was prepared at least for that.
They're not looking to bring in any firepower to tackle this head-on. They'll just avoid it.
And Abed just continuing to farm. As we said, the big timing for Abed is really that Yules. They just have no real great ways to set up onto the Queen of Pain if she plays careful, so he's still looking to finish that item up. It's giving Vici that time to farm up, though. The Empower, plus that Blink Dagger now online for Old 11.
Let's see how proactive they will be once that blinks out. See if they make a play immediately with the smoke.
Feels like they're getting a much better time this time around of just being able to sit back and farm, not getting collapsed on. EG definitely just feel like they're still farming. Like we said, they still want that UOs and everything on the Void Spirit crit, going for that Vessel, which is really good this game versus Monkey King. And with that ward vision, Vinci's looking to get a hit. The blink reveal on Old 11. It's got to be a big one. And it is.
They've got the catch. Immediate jump from Old 11. Opens up onto Abed. No hesitation there from Old 11's mag.
Double ults committed. The two big team fight ults too. I thought they might save Sonic Wave and just use the finger, but I guess Ori probably made the call like, I want this kill. I need to get my Orchid online so they can set up these kills a lot easier around the map.
They're on the hunt for the next one now, Vici.
Yeah, they've got the pace slowed down. This is exactly what they want to do with their lineup with Magnus.
Nearly as close as it gets there, as you can see, 51 to 49 right now. And you can certainly feel it. EG, they did start to get the pace going, but this time round, in contrast to game one, Vici Gaming holding very well against exactly what EG wants to do.
They're not overreacting, I think, is the biggest thing on Vici. Last time it feels like they were like, oh my god, the map is dwindling, everything's closing, we need to just take a fight, and then they took a fight, they lost it 5-0, and the game felt like it was kind of just over from there. I see everybody just playing their own game. PYW's just hitting more creeps. We see Poyoyo's just farming with the Empower. He's got the Deso finished up. Everyone's just trying to hit an item timing. Kind of chilling out right now. And Deso's done. Yeah, Deso's done for Poyoyo. I believe the Orchid's going to be done onto Ori, and they still have like Blink on Magnus and almost Blink on PYW. So RP up in 40 and almost Blink on PYW. So they can definitely look to fight back versus EG with all these timings.
EG trying to get active here. We'll see if Crit looks to line up the arrow. PYW's into the trees, out for the TP, and they're not going to be able to stop it.
The creeps just creeps are still just on top of Crit. He arrowed the creep right in front of him. Perhaps could have maybe gotten the leap off into the arrow, but I don't think he saw the creep that was just trailing right on top of him.
This is pretty big for Vici. I mean, if Poyoyo gets that BKB on top of the Deso, the early sort of push that EG has been going for, it's going to be hard. He's going to be more than happy to just frontline in the fights, create sort of the attention whilst Old 11 looks for the jump in.
They still do have a lot of things that pierce through BKB, though. They have the Roar, they've got that Link that's always going to be really useful versus him, but definitely a necessity versus the burst damage that Mirana and Void Spirit, when you have an ET, provide. He does need that magic immunity early on. So probably double BKBs, double or triple BKBs for Vici next. But with their ults up, they can take the fight. Like if EG runs into them, they will battle.
Oh, definitely.
And EG, with the timing as well, they've got the BKB on the Razor, so they're looking to actually get an advantage here by claiming a tier 2 early on. See if Vici reacts to this.
They're TPing down.
They're spotted though. The Hawk is already on top of them.
Do EG want to dive this? They're certainly showing like they do. On to here, they get the Earth Splitter set up onto PYW. So the line gone. Further TPs now starting to come in. EG looking for the setup on the map, but actually long TPs actually going to be cancelled. Ori goes to the Sonic Wave, push back, but they just turn straight over towards him. Ori's going to get run down by Arteezy. He's gone. Arteezy's now opting to bail out. He'll TP away. Abed, he wants to go in. In fact, he's straight over towards Poyoyo. He's on top of the Monkey King. Poyoyo's going to fall.
Oh boy. That canceled TP, Old 11.
Did he cancel it himself, or?
He did. He saw the Aether Remnant right on top of where he's TPing. He probably thought he would just get killed.
They needed him.
Because of that, a huge fight for EG.
They needed Old 11 over that, whether he gets caught by the Remnant or not. Without him, the team fight just falling completely to pieces. Crit picking up a triple kill. And even off the back of Arteezy batting out of the fight, he was kind of done at a point, didn't want to risk his own life. It didn't matter that he left. EG still with the firepower to clean up.
11's got to do something big now with him rotating down, but he's got to just get a kill on Fly, it looks like here. Probably going to use the finger. But a big play from EG and a big mistake probably from Old 11.
Do you think in that situation it would have been better if he just went and tanked the Remnant?
If they made the call to fight down there, more than likely, because he's a 1700 HP hero. They would have to commit so much onto him to kill him, which would probably open up the opportunity for Ori to have survived. So yeah, a bit of a miscommunication coming out from Vici and EG. They capitalized and they're looking for more.
They're going to get the setup here. See if they got the damage. You said he is tanky. This Void Spirit, I bet he hurts. As that is Old 11 gone. EG starting to really hit hard as Vici. They've got to get themselves back together here.
The duo hunting is really potent. Crit as well as as well as Abed, can always find these kills as mid.
Ori.
Crit.
He has blinked in a little aggressively here to try and find Crit. Well, managed to jump back out, but Ori's got to be careful. Making moves like that. EG now with more than enough tools to punish.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Just continuing to look to pressure this tier 2.
Not going to see still DY hovering around this tower. A very risky position.
He's tough to bring down. They'd have to commit quite a bit just to kill an Enchantress. He's got 4 step 2, and tower does go down. Do they get the outpost in time before 20? It's not the biggest deal, but they won't. But now having those 2 outposts, they're going to have access into bottom jungle. And now Moonlight Shadow, they're still looking for these plays. Poyoyo, he was spotted in top. Oh, he's still showing himself.
He is.
He is in a troublesome position.
They've got the lead in. He's going to try and stand his ground and pop the ult. He'll look over towards Crit. Poyoyo, has he got the damage? He has it. Crit's out with the leaps. He's away from the ultimate. Arteezy with the static link finishes off Poyoyo.
They just really have Poyoyo's number. They always seem to be able to catch him out. I think he needs to just play a little bit more careful of like not finishing off that one extra creep, as we see a lot of players do. Is like these areas where you are playing around like the dire hard camp up there. I feel like so many times we see players lately, it's like they kill one of the creeps and they're like, wait, something's going on, and they usually bail out. But again, Poyoyo gets caught out. And Crit just super active.
Look at Abed as well. Jumping straight up to the high ground. He's found the setup onto Old 11. That's the Magnus gone. Stomp as well, catching Lion. PYW, he's out of the game. DY's got to run. Quick jumps here from EG. And Vici Gaming, we were seeing when they sort of split up like this, it's terrifying with EG's sort of read of the map, like they had the read of the game 1 game state. They know when you're alone, and they will not hesitate to jump in and start the action.
And they do have such a crazy amount of burst. Like, Crit is level 13. Something we definitely do have to factor in. This high damage that comes from this level Starstorm, Sacred Arrow, also such an early vessel. Like, it is making the difference. That's why you're seeing this almost 2,000 HP
damage.
Magnus just die.
That's insane.
Like, he's owning. Every single time he's been there, and that's what's the most important thing when he's there with Abed.
Yeah.
The Yule setup, it's great. The damage from the Void Spirit's nice, but that little extra bit that Crit's providing is huge. I say little, even though it's the highest damage, but... Now with a pretty big timing here, Aegis. And still able to pick off. They don't have to wait for cooldowns. They've got Roar. They've got that constant combo that they've been doing over and over again in this game. Vici looking to just wait for the BKBs before they really want to take a head-on fight, but they're starting to just lose too much control.
Look at the smoke from EG.
DY.
Now look to take down the edge quickly.
That's a lot of burst. With the natural order now maxed up on fly.
And look at this setup, bottom Abed. He's already over there.
And Crit's there.
You see them make a move in the jungle, and the next thing you know, they're over around this bottom lane. Ori is going to go for the TP out. He'll live today.
Nice Orchid play by him. Does get the Orchid off before that follow-up arrow hits him, so no Starstone from Crit to kill him. But scary. Every time they show themselves on these side
look how
lanes,
fast
Abed and
EG
Crit,
is.
They're killers. Crit's part of 14 of the 15 kills so far.
Now I've still got that big combo play though, Vici Gaming. If Old 11 can find these RPs.
They just need to find the combo plays. EG's just look at the way that they're swinging around the map. It's like every single time, it's just too fast right now for Vici to be prepared for it.
Let's see what Vici can pull together around the mid. They'll smoke up.
Can they land the
They've
combo?
got to look for this combo.
Yeah,
Old
Poyoyo
11
has BKB as well, so a lot more survivable.
See who's able to find the jump. Can be PYW.
To see Abed.
Abed.
Oh.
He's looking to be in a lot of trouble here. Hex with the setup. Abed's been found.
Nice move. They didn't have to commit anything big either. Fingers perfectly fine at this point, and they're still going to have RP and Sonic Wave for the upcoming fight if it does go on to them. And they are avoiding their ancient area. They're trying not to walk into this vision that EG's had control of.
I mean, can you look for something more here whilst Abed's dead, or still the fact that Arteezy has that age just a little too much for you to just charge straight into?
I think it's just breathing room. It's like, all right, Ori, you can actually push out the bottom lane a little bit safer. You can finish up your BKB so that you're not just picked off every time from a Yule's combo. So I think that pick off is just, yeah, finish up a next item.
I believe we're seeing this AC getting very close to being completed here by Arteezy.
That's going to be pretty good versus the Monkey King. counteracting that death so almost entirely on his ult team. Again, just looking to get these pushes going too with the Beastmaster, playing around that Helm of the Overlord.
And for Vici at this stage, do you think you just let your tier 2s go?
It's just difficult when EG's already set up on it. If you haven't already preemptively set up on it, you have to assume that they have vision everywhere. The Hawk's going to be behind the tower. As EG's been playing in the last game too, there's probably wards all over the place too, so just drop it. Look to make your own play rather than be super reactive, because you know they're going to have vision advantage.
They're doing exactly that. Looking for a tier 2 themselves, but the fortification is up. So if EG want to try and push back up to the high ground, they do still have Ice in his army leading in. A bit of damage to the tier 3s now.
They'll poke it. Golem's doing work.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And they're literally just sitting onto the triangle, just continuing to farm that area for RTZ. Full Ags now finished up for Abed. So, as we mentioned, those BKBs, especially on Vici, are going to be very effective versus that. They don't have one on 11, though. He's actually gone for a Lotus Orb instead.
Did you like that decision? To sort of help against those being caught by the static link?
It'll help out. He'll be able to protect Poyoyo so he can actually stand his ground inside the fight. So maybe he gets a link of his own or reflects Aurora's. Ori.
Quite a deep move here from Vici Gaming. They're going to go out with the TP. PYW gets left behind.
They both had to BKB to TP out, though. They were very afraid of getting set up on.
And the question is, did EG see the BKBs being used?
I don't believe that. I think that they did. I couldn't see if the ward actually caught the glimpse from there. I think they were just a bit north of it. So might not know. But they might like to make a move anyway, since they have this vision advantage over this area.
Ahmed, yeah, he's going to go.
Hitting.
He's in with the jump. As you say, BKB still on cooldown for 40 seconds. Or he's able to get the blink off. That's a close one, but he'll live. Regen rune at the ready as well.
He didn't even switch to strength treads. I was like, oh my goodness. Stayed on the int. Does have a regen, so we'll be able to come back out. Quick move though, EG, that means yes. That was the answer to your question. Did they see the BKB on cooldown? That is a definite yes then.
Well, Vici starting to step out. I mean, again, they're not playing too fearful here of EG. Aegis seconds away from timing out for RTZ.
They're playing where they know that they have better vision advantage. Just playing around that one ward. They have sentries in the area so they can see if a Hawk comes in. EG just continuing to play around their vision so they can get that initial go. Vici.
There we have it. Another
attempt
attempt here.
Smoke.
Last time, they're only able to get Arbed off the back of a smoke. See if they can get something a little bit more this time round.
EG knows this.
Set up in the trees, Crit and Ice. They're going to make the jump for Crit. Crit's going to make the action. They're in, but now the counterplay from Arbed. Jump straight over to PYW. PYW gone. Crit, he's still alive somehow.
He's going to tick out.
Get the deny.
Oh, he's actually got the vessel.
Oh,
with the bottle
They
as
want to
well.
deny him.
No, they bottled him up.
I mean, the temptation's there, but indeed, Arbed being a bro, if that was any other game, if that was your pubs, Crit would have been dead. But they'll let him live. They keep the man alive. And that was the Sonic Wave burst for that.
EG, I think maybe that Hawk that they had inside the tree line did catch just a glimpse of vision of when they went for that smoke, because their positioning was just way too perfect.
Straight with the moonlight to try and spread back out across the map. Vici Gaming, despite losing PYW there, still keeping this pressure on bottom onto the tier 2.
But they saw him. They saw Poyoyo, and they have this ward. So they have complete vision of Poyoyo right now. Arrow?
I mean, oh my goodness, that was a little bit close. The last minute jump to the side. He's going to have to put the BKB and go for the TP out. We'll see Arbed jump into the trees to look for more. He's got the ult set. He cancels the TP out attempt from Old 11. As Old 11's going to get left behind there. As you say, that would, giving them the info, Arbed able to jump straight in. And those without a BKB, such as Old 11, not able to TP out quite as successfully.
They do get the tower that they came for, though, on the side of Vici. But do have to be careful now that that BKB is on cooldown. We see EG immediate smoke swinging across because they know it's on cooldown. Either the Monkey King or the Queen of Pain will be a free kill if Abed is able to set up onto him. Or Ice with a roar. Vici has to go all the way up into their high ground, which is going to open up the map for EG. Push all their lanes in. It will be a bit difficult for Vici to get out of the map now in these next few moments. And a gem now picked up. So, like we said, vision control, vision advantage. That's what EG's been playing around these last two games when they have the Beastmaster. So, makes sense that they pick it up at this early time.
Still just 1K in it. I mean, it just goes to show how
Very close.
How much of a swing you will see if Vici Gaming can find that sort of team fight, that high ground defense. Pushing into the high ground against a Magnus is always going to be rather scary, so Old 11 will have to be on the minds here of EG.
EG has vision of Vici right now in the bottom lane. They have that kind of cute lane ward that I haven't seen in a while. Watching them all TP back, so immediately they push onto high ground. They get a free tier 3 and
the fortification.
That was...
That could definitely be abused here by EG.
They still see Poyoyo bottom. Look at the line drawn. Will they make it in time?
Surely not quite.
Ice has Blink with the Psychic Headband.
They're in with the Roy. Got the BKB off in time. Back up here as well from Old 11's Lotus, so EG won't be able to continue. There's the BKB, of course, forced here, out for a minute.
Is it down to 6? It is already. How's the Queen of Pain one? Also down to 7 seconds. EG's looking to swing again.
They are
still looking for something.
Jumps in immediately, does get caught out by the silence, but he's rather tanky. Jump on Old 11. He's not really caught anything. Doesn't get the catch that he needs. Ice now heading over towards Old 11. The army of Ice just beating through this Magnus, forcing Old 11 back. Poyoyo will get the Wukong's command down to finish off Ice's life. But the rest of EG is still alive now, but he's ready to jump straight back in. He's looking at PYW. He needs backup, but he needs it now. RTZ trying to help out, but the damage from Poyoyo is too much. Another kill here for Vici Gaming as EG losing control in the team fight this time. Old 11.
Very greedy going for that play by himself, jumping in.
Jumping back into the whole squad without the rest of EG quite able to follow him up. See Vici, can they chase for more here? Poyoyo set up onto Fly, jumping forward. He's in onto the Elder Titan, and Vici Gaming getting 3 kills out of this fight.
Out of a whiffed RP, they somehow end up getting the 3 kills anyway.
Yeah. Maybe a bit of a good luck charm. That was an Old 11. Make sure you miss the RP at the start next time. That worked fantastic.
Abed just really overplayed his hand. He thought he could burst the Lion in time, but PYW survives, I think, because of his stick charges. And now into Roche. They're going to clean this one up. Just as well as that shard.
That's huge for him. Vici Gaming, a solid strike back here against EG. Now it's their turn to sort of show what they can do once they get this sort of a bump up in power.
And they will give that shard over to Ori as well.
We'll see this again here, the start of the fight.
It looked awkward.
Yeah, just not quite able. It was trying to catch Arteezy there in the RP, Old 11.
And it's like Abed was able to back up, reset with a regen rune, and then either way, they still weren't able to take the fight because of that positioning. Vici just having the high ground advantage.
Yeah, we'll see it here in a second. Abed, I mean, he feels rather strong, but jumping back in like that, that was a huge risk to take. Yeah. It does not pay off.
Oh, interesting. Bottom Ori. He's going to get caught out here. Oh, he spent his gold too. He bought out the Lincoln, so 70 seconds, he's dead.
That hurts. Towards the end of that as well, he could have put the BKB, but the blink was down for a second, so maybe BKB wouldn't have saved him anyway.
Pretty interesting though that he's gone for the Lincolns as well. I know into Roar, a lot more people have been going this when there's only that like 1 or 2 single target things, but neutral items are a thing, and neutral items are what I call kind of the counter to Lincoln Sphere. As we see, there's a headband up on the Beastmaster, so as soon as they identify if Ori has Lincolns and no BKB up, they're just gonna headband break it every single time. So has to be very cautious of his positioning still anyway with that Lincolns. But Vici still with this enormous amount of team fight, and after that last fight too, didn't really point out, they did claim the gem. So we always were talking about that vision advantage for EG. Having this gem is going to make Vici's life just a lot easier of knowing that they're not playing under a Hawk, not playing under a Ward in all these situations. And a very buffed up Poyoyo, as we see an Alpha Wolf following him for the majority of the game. He's got ice armor too, provided from the Enchantress, and that Empower.
Poyoyo having that Aegis. What's the call here from EG?
Still look to control vision, look to play around those high grounds. If they can get the initial go every single time, it does feel like they have a good shot, but they just really need to watch out for the combo plays because Vici just has an explosive amount. Very close game though, neck and neck.
This is what you want to see, Vici Gaming.
They've got everything up. EG. I think they had vision of that one again. I believe that Hawk that Ice has right next to that ancient kind of area did catch a glimpse of it. So they're backing up immediately.
See if Vichi's able to catch anyone here. Just completely playing it safe here, EG.
No risk, yeah. 4 heroes in base. Arteezy hiding inside the trees. Outpost will be claimed. Vici still swinging. 2 minutes left on Aegis.
Should be 2 more minutes where EG is focusing on getting their next bit of kit online. Same for Mori, trying to get the AC to counteract that of Arteezy's. Arteezy very close to having his next item complete. Level 23 as well. Still top of the board here, just ahead of Poyoyo.
It's such an even game right now. It's really just, it's gonna come down to those initiations. Who's gonna get the big jumps? Who's gonna delete a hero at the start? Because on top of those big initiations, it's an overwhelming amount of damage that both sides do have.
Vici Gaming there will look to use his last minute of Aegis to take a tier 2.
Scotty's also now finished up for Poyoyo, so he's going to have a really good way to kite out those BKBs, especially inside Wukongs versus Arteezy. And tanky now, too. Near 3,000 HP on this Monkey King.
Let's see how hard EG want to push the high ground. Still 50 seconds on the Aegis. They've got to be keeping that in mind.
They've got the double catapults pushing in the waves. Mid getting hit, bottom as well.
Both teams very much waiting for the other to make the move here now.
Yep. So Aeon Discs will probably become the name of the game soon too, I believe, on both sides. I was checking to see if Abed, what he's going to be switching around to. I saw he had Hex, now he's got BKB queued up. I think there's a lot of arguments where Aeon Disc could just be one of the better items for both sides, just because, as I mentioned, the explosive capabilities of the initiations from both sides. You're going to want some type of counter initiation if somebody does get caught. Arteezy commits for the full refresher.
Spent all his money. And already, jump in, I'll start the action onto DY, DY's gone. Poyoyo's going to look for the lead in onto Ahmed. Jumps forward with the BKB, the Wukong's command. Ahmed, can he get out of this? He's up in the air with the Yules. Ahmed will be able to jump out of the Wukongs with the Astral Step. It's a double kill for Arteezy. He'll kite down the ult of the Monkey King. DY's come back in with the buyback. Poyoyo trying to hide the trees, but Ahmed, he's found him. Jumps over Poyoyo. He's out of the game for 80. No buyback on Poyoyo.
Ice doing God's work in the back line of the fight. He gets the Blink Roar onto the Magnus, throws his minions onto him, so there's no follow-up. I'm sure Poyoyo's sitting there like, where's Old 11? I need you. I need you to get some type of RP, bring them into my Wukongs. But EG kite around the fight, kite the Wukongs, and they catch that Magnus. Arteezy did commit his refresher, but not his secondary BKB.
Full minute to play here. No carry up for Vici Gaming. Poyoyo.
It's on 2. Arrow actually off the mark there from Crit.
Jump forward, look at the ground back up, and get jumped in, he's going to get caught as well. Look at the Hex, the stun on TT is gone! A beautiful peel off there from Old 11 as he gets in, grabs the cause. We'll see Arbe continue to try and fight on the double kill as he bursts through Ori and PYW. As Old 11 tries his best to hold up the defense hit, and EG will still back up. Still EG getting kills, regardless of the fact that Old 11 gets an excellent jump.
Was a buyback earlier from PYW for had to have that skewer into that stun play, but a great pickup onto Arteezy.
And that will stop the momentum for now. EG, they have to retreat. They don't quite get the tier 3 tower. Old 11 keeping the game in decent shape here for Vici.
So it would be BKB for Abed, okay. So going to go for that defensive route, not feeling like he's going to get burst instantly.
They're going to have to be even more careful now with these pushes. Old 11. Ooh. Not quite able to get the setup there, but Poyoyo, he's got his eyes on. Eyes, knows that there's a lot on the high ground though.
Yeah,
won't continue to chase.
Still with 2 dead, don't want to commit for anything, and just, you could just lose the game if you make some type of overextended play outside your base there. Still having RP up too. As we're mentioning, it's eyes on Old 11 if he's able to find that grab. But Ice was that big preventer last time. Also gonna be going for a refresher.
He's got that level 20, that skewer range as well.
Hasn't picked up the shard. It's multiple games now where I saw like a lot of players, especially on T1, Cuckoo, you know, he's the one who's been prioritizing picking up that shard. 11, I think every game I saw him play Magnus, he never buys the shard. And we've seen how powerful that horn toss can be, so a bit interesting that he doesn't even opt for it.
I think it's just sort of preference, right? I feel like some of these players, they play Magnus so long before that ability was ever added to the game. They just feel that it's not necessary to do what they want to be doing with the hero.
Yeah,
it's a bonus thing, but it's just something that, you know, if you haven't been playing it in the thousands of games you played in your career, well, maybe not thousands, but hundreds at least, you're not going to feel as keen to just change it up. And old Levin, he's comfortable with the style that he's always rocked.
EG's got their lanes in a good position right now still. They're looking to just go right back to bottom.
We'll find that flicker. That'll be nice.
Old 11 finds himself a nice one as well. He gets a ninja gear. So Ice's job is going to be a bit more difficult this time around.
Yeah.
To find that Magnus. Anything else we got? We have Telescope on Crit. Any other big ones? Stormcrafter on Abed. So now he's going to double way to protect himself. The Yules as well as Stormcrafter. And on the side of Vici, we did see Paladin Sword picked up. Just that was earlier, to be honest with you. And any other big one from tier 4s? It was just, I mean, the Ninja Gear is probably the biggest one for me, just because it's going to protect Old 11 so he can get those initiations.
Yeah, Ninja Gear is great.
Yep. Or he's a bit tankier as well now, too. He gets Trickster Cloak on his way toward his own AC to counteract the Razors. But again, very close game.
I mean, this Roche, this is not going to go down too easily.
No.
EG's going to have to take a fight first. Vici getting there, bringing a jump forward onto Ori. The BKB is forced out straight away. They get the Hex, open out into the stun. The Wukong's command is down onto Arteezy. Arteezy is gone. Has to buy back straight away to return the fight. Ahmed charges it over to P1W. P1W goes down. Poyo will be able to dodge the remnant from Ahmed. Having the Eon Disc procs.
It's on 11.
He's got the setup. You see that block, they put the RP, the Sonic Wave, they're looking to burst for Ahmed. Poyoyo's in, he takes him down. Arteezy pops to refresh, he's got the link building up off Poyoyo. Ice trying to get back, but Ori jumps in with the burst. Poyoyo, he's not got any damage to fight with as Arteezy takes him down. Buyback from the Monkey King. They want to get back in on this. Old 11 jumps in, he's able to pick him up with the horse, skewing back. Crit, he'll leap to the ground, but they've got the damage. Crit goes down.
Instant buybacks, they know how important, how crucial this Roche is. Arteezy using his before. Very good buyback so he can get back into that fight. 70 seconds, no Enchantress. Wukong's they know is down. RP they know is down as well. They're committing into the pit. How's Vici going to respond in this 3v5?
EG, can they finish it?
They also have level 25s picked up. 26 on Arteezy, 25 on Abed. And as we've seen multiple times, a Void Spirit once he hits 25 is a complete different beast with that AoE Dissimulate stun.
And Vici, they're going to concede the Roche.
And that means a free Aghanim.
Yeah, we'll see this fight again.
It kicked off excellent for Vici. They just completely annihilated Arteezy, but he did have the buyback to be able to get back into the fray. And I don't think they respected him coming back so quickly.
No, they still tried to continue fighting. We see here Abed with the chase down. But jump over to the side and still happy to kick back in as Abed goes in. They try and turn and collapse around him again. This is just buying time for Arteezy to wrap back over. They'll use the ults to go for Abed. They do get him, but that's pretty much everything used. And Arteezy being in position to get that link started on a Poyoyo meant that at that point the Monkey King's fight is over.
Now, yeah, as we said, the full blessing now for Arteezy. I believe Fly almost has his own full Aghanim is on the ET too. They're going to look to progress here. No ults still available on the side of Vici. Horn Toss is purchased for Old 11, but Ice is in. That's the first roar.
I've got to be so careful now. These buybacks on cooldown could be, yeah, they could cost the game here. Poyoyo, 6 minutes without that buyback now.
We do see a DY also hit level 20. Maybe happened during that fight there, but we'll be able to now start enchanting those Ancients. So we do have to see if Ice will give some respect and maybe throw his Ancients away out of the fight, since DY will just be able to take over it every single time. And everything's back up, Vici. What can they find?
Oh, they're heading straight out. RP at the ready.
Scary moments here playing without buyback on the Monkey King, playing into that Aegis, playing into that cheese. Abed also does pick up an Aeon Disc afterwards too, so many different forms of protecting himself versus that big Wombo combo that Vici has. And Vici, they're not quite at that next big item for Poyoyo to have that big protection. His Satanic is 700 gold away. Does feel like he's going to need it. These fights feel like they're going to start getting quite drawn out. And Fly, as we say, he's trickling slowly towards an Aghanims. He's 250 away. It's going to change the state of the game a lot too, and he's able to stay in the face of these tanky heroes and allow his teammates just to rip them to shreds with that natural order.
Still quite a bit of time to play with the Aegis here for Arteezy, 3 minutes.
Old 11 just keeps going for Alpha Wolves the entire game that I've seen. Just looking for a dominated Alpha Wolf to stick it on Poyoyo.
Oh, here we go.
Scan comes out. EG's aware.
They're going to try and go for this into that Aegis and Cheese, but EG, with the Moonlight, they're ready to move in.
They want to take the fight.
Let's see if they catch this feature with a good wraparound, though. They might not expect them to come in from the side.
They picked up the Satanic also for Poyoyo.
See if they can get the jump. Arteezy, he'll show himself. Quick little poke with the Plasma Field. Vici now, they're a little hesitant. They know they can't get the jump, the initiation that they wanted to. 11 is watching for the cliff here. I see jump forward from Ahmed, he's moving in onto Poyoyo. Arteezy keeps the link going, takes down DY. The Roar comes out onto Poyoyo. Get the Wukong's command off. Old 11 still being patient up on the high ground, waiting for the chance to jump, but he's seen him. The vessel's down. Old 11 no longer able to get the blink off, but Ice 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 is gone. No buyback available for Ice Ice Ice. EG, they're going to have to do this 4 versus 5 for now. DY, he fought back for this. There's a dieback from the Enchantress. Old 11, oh, he misses completely.
But they found Abed. They found one of the really important kills on the side there. PYW was able to get the chain disable for Poyoyo to engage.
Yeah, I mean, again, another scenario where there's an RP miss, but I don't think Vici minds at all. They're going to start pushing in a little bit down the bottom. No buyback on Abed or Ice Ice Ice. This is a long time without 2 of your cores. 11.
Point toss.
He's got the grab. He takes him out of the base. They've got Arteezy. Arteezy's going to go down once. Can they do it again? Can they do it again here? They're going to try, but the BKB's out. Jump forward, the Sonic Wave pushing Arteezy back down to the low ground, but Arteezy's able to get out of there. Moonlight shadows up. Crypt gives him the cover to escape from the rest of Vici Gaming.
They'll force the glyph. 70 seconds.
And they've got to keep Arteezy safe. His buyback, of course, also still on cooldown for 2.5 minutes.
They should be able to clean up this Rex.
See if they can get anything more. Still a minute, no Abed.
Tough to swing all the way to top, though. That tier 2 mid still up. So they will back up, look to clear out those lanes. Double catapults hitting on mid. Big hit from Vici.
Again, just, I mean, keeping the net worth so even. 21 and 29. Only, less than 1K in it.
It's a crazy game, too, where we talked about all these initiations and the big wombo combo, and I feel like the 2 fights that Vici actually won, they did not have the wombo combo land at all.
No. That's how Old 11 is using it as a sort of an extravagant taunt.
It was like both of them. The RP whiff and the Wukong's command was just like this zoning mechanic, but then they just get one single disable onto the Void Spirit, and they have the damage.
I mean, that is pretty terrifying when you're losing the team fights and these spells are all over the place. Imagine when they land. That could be, the end of it here for EG in this game, too. This is Vici Gaming starting their way back into this. The money for the full Satanic ready on Ori if he wants to spend up. And they are getting some big, juicy items online now.
Everybody really is. Even DY. Look at DY's Enchantress. He's just been quietly farming throughout the majority of this game, as we mentioned, being that level 20 early on. He's got Solar Crest, his Vlads. He's very survivable. Also having that Witchbane is always going to be nice, this little Dispel. Or as Kyle would like, the Cleanse. It is actually called the Cleanse this time around, so. And he's farming so much just because of his inching creep too. He just keeps taking the Black Dragon, and it's a better dragon because it's got that enchant buff on it. He just push lanes by himself. He's pushing mid.
What's the plan now here? Sit back for the next rush?
We gotta wait for buybacks, I think, is the important thing, at least for EG. They've got 60 seconds and 600 gold for Void Spirit, about 1,000 away for Arteezy, also 30 seconds. They're a lot more dependent since they did expend so many earlier. Vici, though.
I mean, they're gonna charge straight at EG down here. See who gets the jump first. Smoke dispels on Ori. It's the jump out from Abed. Getting himself a good distance away from Vici Gaming. EG, they are fully aware that this move is in motion from Vici Gaming. What do they want to do about it? DY,
he's getting a real
he's going to show himself into the trees. They Firefly. They'll jump in onto the outer titan, see if they can burst it, but Abed's in over with the Dissimulate. Fly, he'll be able to get the ults out, but Fly will fall. Jump over from Ori straight into Arteezy. DY, Poyoyo, and Ori trying to focus down the race. The Roar comes out from Ice has to hold back Poyoyo. Second Roar, it's going to be blocked by the Linkers of Ori. They've taken out Artor. Ice will manage to TP out in the trees. That's Arteezy dead. 2 minutes.
No buyback.
500 gold short.
And they still have RP. They can still look to hunt. Immediately pops, I believe, the Ninja Gear on Old 11, continuing to hunt.
He's still got the RP. He's ready for another catch. If he catches another core.
The way that they start the fight on Vici is really smart, too. Like, DY is just like, I'm just an Enchantress at this point. All I need to do is give information for my team to stick onto these targets. If they get even one disable on any of these cores we've seen over and over again, the EG heroes just die.
Yeah, these fights are looking harder and harder for Evil Geniuses.
Middle tower has fallen.
Smoke up to set things up, but still 80 seconds, no carry up for EG as Arteezy. They just have to sit back and watch.
And it's how do you actually deal with Ori now? You know, having the Lincolns, having that 18-second spell block that he picked up earlier from the 25 satanic Trickster Cloak, he's so durable.
Tries to start the action off. Immediate jump, they do get the arrow connection into the simulate stun. They've caught Ori. He's gone. Now over towards Poyoyo. Poyoyo still has the BKB. He turns over towards Abed. Abed's got his BKB ready to go if he needs to, but he's gone after the Hortos. They've got the Hex as well. Abed still managed to simulate out of action. So the buyback did come out from Ori here. I mean, it's maybe a bit of an early one. I don't know if he's going to be able to do too much with that still. Time where Arteezy's out of the game, but it is only 30 seconds or so now. And now Ori in a bit of a risky situation. They lose Ori, and now EG might have the chance to push straight back. We'll see how safe Ori plays here.
Triple arrows online for crit. They just have. I think that's the biggest thing he just has to watch out for since the Roars are on cooldown.
Oh, 11. He's in with the jump. They've caught Abed. They're able to chase him. He's gone. He pops. Buyback out immediately from Abed as now EG they're looking to push back in. 10 seconds until Arteezy's up. They're keeping the racks alive in the mid EG. Old 11. He's ready for the jump with the RP though if EG step anywhere close to the edge of their base.
It's level 25 as well on him, so longer RP, 4.75 seconds.
Ice.
The Roar.
It's got the first opening. Anything more to go here? Stomp onto the 2, Remnant as well. We'll follow up. Drag back out into the arrow.
The force down.
Beautiful play there, forced into the arrow. Crit, as that is Poyoyo gone. Vici game, and they've got to get out of it. There is a buyback available on Poyoyo if he wants to keep the fight going. Old Levin is able to get up to the glyph and TP out. PYW, he's away, but DY caught out by the stomp. EG, they'll run down the Enchantress and take down DY as well.
What a force step. Was that Fly? I think that was Fly's force step. He walked in, I think he used it right at the start there when the arrow was coming in. Or it could have even been a teammate trying to save him.
I think it was either Fly or DY. I think it was one of the two.
It might have been. It's the triple arrows coming into play there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming from all angles,
and now
not a lot they could do.
Refresh your shard and blessing on the Rosh. Most important thing for both sides. Both cores not having buyback now on the side of Vici. Ori as well as Poyoyo have it on cooldown.
Oh, it's risky. Yeah, EG no.
Arteezy's just going to run
time
his
to hit hard. Old 11
buyback.
on the high ground though. Hard to push into this Magnus when the Blink RP's ready. But Vici Gaming, with the state of their buybacks, they're playing it very safe. Back towards the tower. Now they'll look to get in off the back of their own smoke. But look for the long wrap around. They want to try and enter through EG's high ground. Down this river. Oh, they get the jump on a grip, but now the counter plays in. They're in. PYWZ on this kid's going to get proc. BKB comes out from Poyoyo. He's got the Wukong's command now. PYW slides off to the side. Abed's BKB short to wear off fly. Trying to get on Poyoyo. The RP's there, but the BKB's already out. And Arteezy, so the skewer has no effect. Arteezy turns over towards Ori. Ori has to blink out. Bellness is down to Arteezy flying. He offers some safety here with the stomp setup. Arteezy trying to run, but Ori jumps in. The burst is there from Poyoyo. He's taken down to the Spirit Vessel. The burst from Abed to simulate takes Poyoyo out of the game. 2 minutes. No monkey king for Vici Gaming.
Ori in a bit of a weird spot. Will be able to get himself away. They focus so much onto Poyoyo. Tons of buyback.
Catch on the PYW as well. EG, they're not done yet. The simulate over to the side. They found the line. DY's trying to punch back into Arteezy, but there's nothing that this Enchantress can do. He's got to run. Old 11 attempting to skewer back to the high ground, but Ahmed's got the chase. The Eldest is back up, but the simulate's in. Ahmed takes down another.
But now Ori's on Abed.
Whoa, nice
to dodge.
Still got the Yules. Now they're ready to turn. Link is being popped. They get the skewer back up to the high ground. They've caught Ice. No Beastmaster for this push. And with Ice gone, that might be enough, along with Fly also down right now, to stop EG from being able to punish the fact that Poyoyo's dead for a full minute.
Absolutely insane fight. Look how much damage, what, 28,000 damage from both sides. Everybody using like 50 different spells. Very nice. EG. Now, since they do have that number advantage, are starting to work on that rush. RTZ in the pit.
We'll see the start of this fight again.
They kited Poyoyo. They didn't really stand inside the Wukong almost at all, and it really was the buybacks that EG just had a bit more of that allowed them to take a bit more of an advantage in that at the end of it all.
Now have that BKB off in time there, RTZ.
He would have been dead otherwise.
Absolutely.
If he did that skewer into the Wukongs, he would have died even earlier.
Time to just draw out just a perfect read of when to get back in on top of Poyoyo. We're seeing Abed having some fantastic decisions when it comes to getting out of the fight and knowing when he can re-enter. He had that error earlier in the game where he made that play back into the full squad of Vici Gaming, but now the choices that he's making when it comes to playing these team fights are immaculate.
Just a constant reset. They just have so many different methods to get in and out of the Wukongs that it's allowing Abed to get, what, like, I think he got like 4 or 5 to simulate stuns onto heroes, so it's like 10 seconds of stun that's coming out just from that ability. So we get more of these level 25s coming out.
What's he doing with the Axe here, Abed?
Who doesn't have one? Who do you even want to give it to, actually? Do you just give it a crit?
I think give it a crit.
You don't really have anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, Fly already has it. He's the most important one besides that, so.
I mean, you sell it? You can sell that one, right?
Sure. Probably more useful on a hero.
I'm sure it is. We'll see how greedy Abed is. So this move on 11. Oh, he's found him. He found RTZ. Drag back onto Artor. They'll blow him out quick with a finger. That's the Aegis gone.
They've got the Wukong right on top of him, too.
Sonic Wave from Mori, pushing back Fly, so Fly won't be able to get back over and help out. Jump forward onto RTZ, pop the refresher, the BKB. He's trying to run. Another use the refresher shot and the refresher on mute, but he can't keep himself alive. He's out. 2 minutes. No buyback for 5 minutes. A huge catch there as RTZ on his own with the Aegis and refresher shot. It doesn't matter.
Did he used everything too. I think he used 3 BKBs. He tried to use 2 or 3 flickers to survive.
He pressed all the buttons. It wasn't enough.
He was completely alone. And they did do a good job. Ori, he jumped the backline. He jumped onto Fly, made sure that Fly wasn't going to be able to do any type of disengage. Those buybacks from earlier that EG had to use for the fight, now hurting them. DY.
Well, maybe the Aghanim Zone Ice will help a little bit here, spamming those axes out.
Okay, did pass it over to him.
Bit of deep push BYW, he's just stepping straight back in, so is Ahmed though. Ahmed's moved up. He on this will proc, he'll look to jump in with the 2-man, dissimulate stun, gets himself back out with the Astral Step. Jump forward to hold 11. RP onto the 2. The BKB was up already though from Ahmed, so Ahmed will live, but Crit will not. Marana is gone. Still 1 minute without RTZ. Vici Gaming, they're ready for the next one. Ahmed. He's going to turn over towards BYW, but 4 heroes are part of the Hex is there. Ahmed is gone. No buyback on him. GG is called. Vici Gaming will take this game too.
What a wild game. Hundreds of buybacks it felt like in this one, but Vici, even though they didn't get the best connection some of the times with their huge wombo combo, at the end of it all, they just out-team fight EG in several different situations. EG just kept throwing bodies with more of the buybacks, but as for the scaling went, Vici just continued to scale just that much harder with their heroes.
Yeah, that was one of those games where the fights were so frantic that, you know, that you had to be completely focused, and Vici Gaming indeed pulling themselves together in a fashion we've seen them struggle to do so in a few games here on the main stage, but this game showing that magic's certainly still here from the squad.
And especially the man we just saw on your screen there, Ori, walking out of the booth there at the end, made up for all of his tough games that he's had at the main event. 15, 6, and 10 on the Queen of Pain. Item decision actually ended up working perfectly, going for that link, since he blocked I don't even know how many of Roars, and his target priority inside the fights was excellent. He always was either finding Abed with the Orchid catch, getting him with the catch, or finding Fly in the backlines.
And we saw, you know, this time at the start, EG, we knew they were going to try and go for a sort of similar road to victory as they did in game 1. This time around, they weren't able to find it. What do you think tripped them up the most this game?
I think this time Vici just didn't overreact. I think the last game, sure, the Beastmaster was a little bit too overwhelming because they didn't have this Enchantress to always just like kind of deter them at all, but it felt like Vici was just like, oh my god, we have to fight, we have to fight. This time around, they're like, let's back up, push the lanes out, let's get these items online. We're good. We can scale super hard in this game, and we saw exactly that.
Well, indeed, an absolute delight of Dota 2 that game, ladies and gentlemen, with Vici Gaming taking a game back against EG. We're going to be having another one of these, game 3 round the corner, but as it stands, Vici Gaming versus EG 1-1 right now.
Thank you so much, Odie Pixel and Fog. Guys, I gotta take a moment here. I gotta admit, I am actually so emotional after watching that game. Like, this is why we are here. That was one of the greatest games I've ever seen, and just the fact that we're like at this event together with all of our talent in the talent room, just screaming, seeing Abed, you Stormcrafter and Yule Scepter. I mean, this is TI. This is 2 years that we've been waiting to come back here as like not only a family of us, but as a community. And that game just solidifies 2 teams from across the world coming together to just beat the shit out of each other. That was such a goddamn pleasure. And I got to compose myself here. But gentlemen, what did you think about that? I mean, Cinderin, we robbed you the first time from talking. What did you think about that game, man?
I don't even know where to start. You know, when there's games like this, you can try to pick apart any specific play from the last hour and, well, maybe not the hour, but at least the last 30 minutes. And small things could have just made a huge difference. It's about players making the right clutch decision on items, being slightly out of position, and more than anything, just the pressure, right? Like, every moment that we get into these team fights, like, let's say Old 11 gets caught, or Arteezy gets caught out of position, doesn't press his buttons correctly. We had that fight, like, in the end where he gets caught in the jungle, uses 3 BKBs, flickers everything, you know, like, he's just literally slamming his keyboard. Like, how could I possibly survive? It's amazing. I don't know how to pick apart a game like that, because I feel like you could take any given moment and be like, that's where they won or that's where they lost, and then 2 minutes later there's another one.
And before you continue, I would like to say that I do want to keep it on track, though. So I have implemented a new system. These are called panel points. These are little tokens, and if you make a good point, I will award you with a panel point. So just go about your business, and we'll get them in. And I just want you guys to be motivated to make good ones. So and now, after that, Cinderin, we will award some panel points.
I don't think I deserved one.
Well, not yet, but yeah. Anyway, Jenkins, you were saying?
I don't remember what I was.
I want panel points.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that the target acquisition.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Okay.
Yeah. What target acquisition?
Let's go.
Keep going.
Go ahead.
Target acquisition.
Wait,
of
why
Vici
did I
Gaming.
get some?
Please don't interrupt.
Target acquisition of Vici Gaming was very important, and Odie Pixel alluded to it earlier, that there's always, whenever 2 teams are trading, there's always someone who's wrong.
Yes.
Someone is not going to win the fight. And the decision-making by Vici Gaming every single time that someone would retreat, there was such a tense back and forth, because they were also extremely high mobility.
Sure.
Sir Action Slack, could I please interlude here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Interject.
I would like to agree with Mr. Su to the right of me here.
They're actually invisible.
And I think what allowed, thank you very much for the channel. I'll come over here. I would like to say that kudos and shout outs to DY for walking in every fight, identifying that, well, number one, he's a pathetic support, so he always has buyback. The role, of course, position 5 is a very pathetic role. Walking in, always has buyback, setting up for his team to hit some nice RPs, to focus Arteezy, and that was the key difference maker. Okay, why is there 2? That was the key difference makers. The moment Vici started focusing Arteezy in the fights is the moment they started winning, because when you look at the lineup, there wasn't really any other source of late game damage other than Arteezy, and he didn't have a Satanic, so he was actually quite squishy if you just hit him with all of your right clicks. Sure, he has 3 BKBs because of refresher orbs. If I keep talking, you're just going to keep giving me these?
No.
Who's handing out the coins?
Well, they're based on it's voted in with the chat. If you do exclamation point, good point, yes. Anyway, continue.
So it's just about talking as much as possible, and while they're spamming, you just keep building up coins. Why am I not getting?
Well, I actually
you are lying. I didn't get a single coin.
Well, you have to make a good point, Cinderin. So Cinder, do you
spells.
Agree? Yeah.
Which ones?
Good spells.
Oh my god, I couldn't agree more.
I got one better.
Okay, go ahead.
Great spells.
Better spells.
Nope, sorry. Too slow.
let's go ahead and bring it back to
How am I possibly
going
to get that many coins anyway? It's over.
Gentlemen,
you can have some of mine.
please. This is an elimination game at the International. Please keep it
You
tight
planned this.
if you can. So, Cinder, coming into this next game, we've seen such a back and forth. Let's talk about how EG must be feeling about this, because this is a game that they felt like they should have won, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, after that comeback from that Vici Gaming, I mean, do you think they might be broken? Arteezy has been broken before at this at internationals. This is a team that can tilt. Will we be seeing this in a potential game 3?
I don't know. Why are you asking me anything? I have 0 coins. I'm like the least credible person who could possibly ask anything right now.
How come yours are to the right of you and mine are directly in front of me?
All right, Tsunami, perhaps you want to pick this one up?
Yeah, but I think that with these, we talked about it a lot during the group stage. The Dr. K factor. Jenkins,
Yes, of course. Healthygamer.gg on
Healthygamer.gg.
YouTube.
I think in these internationals of yore that you speak of, it was a more skeleton crew of support staff, especially mentally speaking. But now the evil geniuses, they've got the technical know-how to recover from a game that maybe you should have won.
Don't look at me.
You know, it's always going to be hard. You know, the thing about a game like this is the players will have one perspective, right?
Yeah.
And then the coach will have a different one. And I think Bulba watching that game from the outside will feel like there's just as many moments that EG should have lost as they should have won that game. I don't feel like that. To me, watching that game, it didn't feel like a throw for either team. It felt like a bloodbath. And it's any given moment, anything can happen. And you can, like I said earlier, you can pinpoint, okay, Arteezy dying in the jungle, then the end is the nail in the coffin, but there's just as many moments before that where things can go right or wrong and you just lose, right? So the most important thing, honestly, is just mental reset, right? Like, if you can somehow get yourself in the moment, okay, maybe not even think very much about what happened in that last game, but just, you know, stick to your guns, get good picks. If you wanted to change anything from the draft, I'm still not fully convinced about an open-ended Razor pick when all you see is a Monkey King. Who even could have gone in a different role.
Do you think Vici Gaming responded to the Beastmaster well? This time they picked
yes,
the Enchantress
they
in the post-game
owned him in lane.
Yeah.
Like Ice had a terrible start. It was actually incredible how much he came back.
Not in the game, though. I feel like both of these games have been largely determined. Like, they've been in EG's favor, at least in terms of map positioning, and then eventually gold lead because of the Beastmaster vision and the ability to take over the entire enemy jungle. I do agree that the lane dominance was better from Vici this game, but I seriously think, and in the first game it was the same. Like, Beastmaster didn't do that well in the laning phase, but then the moment the laning phase ended,
he did it a lot better than this.
He did. But the moment the laning stage ended, the game blew wide open because of the map control that it gave them, and I think EG played really well around that.
That is one of the things that I think Enchantress brings to the table too, though, is that one thing, she's good against Beastmaster in lane, but then when it comes to that mid game when the Hawk vision comes into play, Enchantress is the perfect dangling hero, as a certain banana guy would like to say. You send Enchantress in. If she gets gone on and has any sort of defensive item like Force Staff Hood, whatever it is, and even if you die, you soak up so much damage and so much attention that you set your team up for success. And a lot of the times these aggressive Beastmaster plays happen in the enemy jungle. There could be an outpost. You just die as Enchantress, buyback TP in, and you've given your team full vision for essentially whatever Enchantress's buyback is worth, which is not very much at that point. And all the expended resources. I think Enchantress is better against Beastmaster than just the lane because of that.
Yeah, okay.
And at level 20, she was taking the Ancients talent, and so even the Dom creep was, or the Overlorded creep was still being converted.
Yep.
And honestly, I have had much love for Ice at many internationals. He's always been a player who I wish would get an Aegis. But he seemed a little rattled at the end of that game. And not like, I didn't see the player cams or anything, but there was a moment where Crit landed a split Mirana arrow on the Lion, and immediately Ice roared the Lion. Even though it was like a long-range arrow, the Lion was going to be stunned for a while. And then in that precise moment, Abed went in to jump in on the Void Spirit. This is all during the top Rax siege. And ultimately, I feel like Ice, for as chill as he seems typically, has kind of lost some of that magic whenever it comes to elimination time. So more than Arteezy, I'm concerned about Ice.
Wow, that's a pretty good
spot a friend a coin, please.
No coins for you, Cinderini. You have to make good points, my friend.
So no coin.
All right, so
give me your best tip. How do I make coin?
Don't spread the coins around now. Let's focus up, please. All right, well, the teams seem to be coming out into the booths, and we are getting ready for a Game 3. This is a elimination match. This means that a team will be going home. VG Gaming, EG fighting for their lives in what could be considered as one of the most hyped series we have seen at this event thus far. I cannot wait to see the blood that shall be spilled by some of Dota 2's greatest competitors here at TI10. Let's take a look back at some past TIs, however, and get some EG memories about their times at the International.
My most vivid memory was from TI8 group stage. There was this group stage match against Team Liquid. It was Kuro's team, and at the time, we thought we were really good. So when we played against them, we're like expecting to own them kind of thing. And then they just like, they shit on us like so hard. We lost to some like off-lane Drow Ranger kind of thing going on. Like, it felt like they're trolling us, but we lost. And I just remember sitting there after just laughing. I just started like, everyone in the room is like kind of serious, kind of sad, but I just started laughing and like, I started raising my voice and like yelling and like happiness. Like it was, feels good. It feels good to get owned.
I think like the thing that I can't forget at TI was TI2. So it was kind of like my first time going to Seattle, and I'm a huge fan of oysters. So I went to an oyster bar and ate like 2,000 oysters, and I had like I was having the runs like throughout the whole tournament. That was actually an interview where I mentioned I was having diarrhea throughout the whole tournament.
How are you feeling about the tournament so far? What has been the highlight for you?
Having a diarrhea every single day.
What was that?
But that was like a pleasant memory, I guess. Like the process of eating it was pleasant, not the rest.
Wow, what a fantastic piece about the memories of EG in this, the most critical moment they have ever faced. Will they have the run completed here at the International, or will they just slide on throughout the bracket?
Explosive second game from
Thank you.
EG.
I wish People was here to keep us on track, but we must continue as we move on to this extremely serious elimination Game 3 match. Gentlemen, this is what we're here for. This is Dota 2. If you are a new Dota player that's watching it for the first time, well, you are in for a hell of a treat. It is so good to have you here, about to witness TI history. So, Tsunami, my friend, we have seen so much. We have talked about how VG Gaming need to pull back from that last game. They did it, even though you kind of doubt it. You think we'll be seeing that again?
I think that Bulba is a very stubborn drafter, and I think that they have been kind of using Beastmaster as the linchpin for this entire series. And so I'm curious, because this has been the downfall of Bulba many a time, is he is very, very stuck on an idea, and he seems intent that his line of thinking is the best, which came against him in Singapore.
It absolutely did. Well, the time has come. No more questions. It is time for the draft panel
Did I get
with
a coin?
Avo, Effie, and Lacoste.
Evil Geniuses versus VG Gaming. Game 3.
We did it. Slacks pronouncing my name correctly was almost as difficult as VG Game winning that game too. And what a game, honestly. I mean,
what a roller coaster. You know? See the graph, it goes up and down multiple times. In the end, Arteezy gets caught, but I gotta go back to 11, you know. This is why he's my favorite offlaner, because he can do whatever he wants for 40, 50 minutes, miss RPs, and then all it takes, he can RP the ground, and in the end, all it takes is a couple of skewers, bait them in, one big RP. The man is just, you know, he is what he is.
But I think that says more about Magnus as a hero than it does about 11, right? You don't even need to land your RPs. You just have a free setup for your skewer. You can skewer them back long range, and that's all you really need to do on the hero. I feel like get it out, and they did.
Back at the draft of game number 2, I feel they forgot about Magnus, because it seemed like a perfect hero, because he can be the good offlaner, he can be the one who's empowering the Monkey King, forcing him to like skip an item and just get a damage item, which he did, and also someone who can break the static link, work out really well. So yeah, no surprise. They decided to ban it out in the first phase this time around. There's still Tidehunter in the pool. I feel this hero can be flexed if necessary, but as an offlaner, you can protect him in the second banning stage. Doom needs to go 100%.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they valued this Enchantress so highly that they picked her up in first phase. I guess it just worked out for them, and they don't want to play versus Beastmaster.
It was the same secret idea, though, against the Elder Titan. That was the same idea. They just first phased the Enchantress, you deny that buff, and it worked for them.
Thing is, you can kind of run lanes around if Enchantress is countering a specific lane, but the utility of her in the last game was that she countered both lanes, right? This time around, it's easily dodgeable. I don't think she's more valuable than a Lion, because look what happened just now. They picked up a Storm Spirit, and they're probably going to ban Lion in the next phase.
They need to protect the Storm Spirit. You're correct, Effie. Because throughout the first and second season, throughout the majors, PYW Shadow Shaman, like, you know that his positioning is always going to be good. Anything with a Hex, as he's shown in the previous game on Lion, his Alchemization as well, going for an earlier E on this to be able to protect himself. This time around, EG getting the hands on the Storm Spirit, finally, I would say. I felt the first game they wanted to get the Storm Spirit, but Vici Gaming, since they had the first pick in the second phase, they decided to snatch it.
Absolutely, and it just didn't perform up to expectations, but they've already begun protecting the Storm with the Puck ban for obvious reasons, right? Coil leashes Storm, and he can't ulti.
So now we're expecting a potential Lion ban from EG to protect the Storm Spirit. If that's the case, is Shadow Shaman still pickable?
Yeah, I believe he is, because you need some kind of control. The way Virtus Pro defends their Storm Spirit is Puck, Kalina, and Queen of Pain, sometimes a Dragonite, if necessary, depending what was banned in the first phase and what the enemy bans out.
But also, if it is just a support Monkey King, then they're not going to go for the Lion, and the Storm's going to have the time of his life playing versus these two heroes as supports.
Right. So to a degree, this Storm also forces the Monkey King to go at least another position.
Perhaps, but it depends on how Vici want to play it, because it's not the end-all and be-all if the two supports don't have significantly good catch. It's just that it just feels too good of a Storm game right now, just from these first two.
I think next ban from Vici Gaming will show us where this Monkey King is going to go. If they ban out Ursa, it's going to say this is a core monkey.
Right.
So they do ban out the Luna. EG have had a lot of success running ET and Luna as a lane, for the reasons that he amplifies both her right-click damage and her ultimate damage. And they've won a lot of games with this Luna.
So they get rid of Old 11 Doom, which is a good hero against Storm, but not what we were talking about, protecting the Storm.
I think it's necessary to ban 11's hero pool, because that's what's been making it difficult for Vici to play to their strengths, I would say. And the Magnus being left in the pool last game was a bit of an oversight, and you'll find that even we forgot to talk about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get so caught up in so many draft ideas that certain heroes slip your mind, and I think that's what happened.
I was talking to Brian BSJ, and he said, you know, you ban out Magnus 20 times in a row, you feel like he's banned out. Maybe you just forgot. You know, you always feel like the hero's banned out, he's super strong, and suddenly he gets countered in the lane. Like you pick a perfect counter for your last pick.
So Vici do need to address the Storm issue. I really don't see this being good for their supports if they can, and I wonder if they're probably just going to go for another Spirit hero mid here and try to pair it up with something like a Tidehunter in the offlane if it's left in the pool.
So like an Ember, for example, and then he gets countered, or he counters the Storm in the game with a Searing Chains combo, right? And that sets up for other stuns?
Yes, and we see
They ban it out.
Oh, well, they decided to ban it out. That Tidehunter that we mentioned at the start now it gets more value now that the ban coming out from EG.
I do think this is a good Tidehunter game. I hope it does not. So this is also a Spirit hero, right? It can function similarly to Ember. It's just that Aether Remnant isn't as great of a tool for catching the Storm Spirit, but if they pair it up with something else, that will be good enough. Because Void Spirit and Ember Spirit in the first 20 minutes of the game. So I can see the reasoning here. Also, maybe Vici aren't too comfortable running the Ember right now.
Well, there's so many mind games.